speaks of your glory and the end of your beauty. Your love is new every morning, and your faithfulness is ever sure. I say ever speaks of your glory and the end of your beauty.
Unleashing the power of Velvet Radio. This is Citi 97.3.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show, rise above the noise.
You are the joy of the whole world, for you are the great and mighty God. So greatly to be praised, you're beautiful for us in a way.
Citi 97.3.
Twenty-six after 6. I love this sound. Great and Mighty God by Joe Praise, featuring the Soweto Gospel Choir. This song is 11 years old. It brings back great memories and nostalgia. Some 8 years back, we listened to the Citi Breakfast Show. Bernard Davler, Richard Alaska, and Anama Godfred. And then we'll start campus exclusive on Radio Universe with this song. So I love this song. It's great to wake up to a pleasant morning, a great gift that we will never have again. It's called Friday, the 4th of October 2024. We've come a long way, have we not? A wise woman I'll be speaking to later this morning, and I'm excited about that. She says it's not a giving you alive, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to be alive. It's really not a giving. And so we choose to reflect on the great and mighty one. We choose to reflect on the gift he's giving us. And in the process, he's made us a gift also to our generation. And so this morning, consider the blessing you have been giving, the gift of life you have, and make the most of this gift. And don't forget to also be a gift to this generation. Whatever your hands find to do, consider it a unique blessing and opportunity to make a difference to our world and be a gift to whatever space you find yourself. It's a great and inspirational morning to you on your favorite dial, 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Caleb Kuda. Welcome to Friday. Welcome to this gift called Friday. And this great gift we've all come to love so much is called the Citi Breakfast Show. It's a campaign, it's a movement, it's an advocacy, it's a force. It's stronger than a tsunami. It will take down any obstacle in its way that is obstructing the progress of the nation. We do this together with you. So at any time, join us on WhatsApp 0549986996. Happy to be doing this with the great man with the big head. Abeku Odum, the richest man. Now he's a big man. So join us this morning. We'll bring you the newspaper review shortly and amazing conversations that will be a blessing and a gift to you. And businesses were brought to you by ADB. If you're a paid employee or salaried worker, you need a personal loan to resolve your financial issues. ADB is offering you a variety of personal loans, including top-up loans at significantly reduced interest rates. You will also enjoy a longer tenure of up to 6 years. There's an offer open to non-customers as well. Kindly visit the nearest branch or call 0302-210-210. 0302-224-043 for further inquiries. ADB is the People's Bank. ADB is truly a Greek and more. Newspaper review coming up shortly with your favorite people. Oh, Joe Praise, I love it.
The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
We understand the excitement and preparations that comes when your child gains admission into senior high school. But we at the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB PLC, also understand the financial burden this comes with. The chop box, trunk, school mattress, you name it. That's why we have partnered with Prospectus Ghana Limited to offer financial support for parents by introducing the ADB Quick Purchase. With a smart loan of up to 20,000 Ghana cedis, you can pick up all the items on your child's prospectus for school. ADB PLC offers you a repayment plan of 12 months to relieve you of all that heavy financial burden. Every ADB customer who receives their salaries through the bank, military and police personnel, and all other workers on the Controller and Accountant General's payroll qualify for this facility. Walk into any ADB branch nationwide or any Prospectus Ghana Limited office near you to apply for the ADB Quick Purchase. Terms and conditions apply. ADB, the People's Bank. ADB, truly a Greek and more.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
No more distraction of the motherland. Duma vyoba mi wakama. Adam, go get them. Now we have entered the mood. Sky, you are on a different level this morning. Come on, come on. Solidarity is going on.
In every country where the river flow clean, them pull up as convictus and not dig up under the earth. If the water in our sea.
Come on.
Oh no.
Oh, we are getting into the newspaper review this morning.
This one is fresh from the bakery.
Straight up.
You know, Abolo Jokpo.
Thank you.
You know, Abolo Jokpo, you know.
Bread made fresh from the oven.
Fresh from the bakery.
Yes. Water
so
not touch
hot and sizzling.
Air not touch up.
You know, Adam is going after the Galamsey.
Yes, go get them.
He's insisting that something has got to be done.
Exactly.
You know, we must not continue to destroy our water body.
Precisely.
And he's put it together in a truly, you know, danceable,
come on,
you know, reggae rhythm.
Clearly.
You know, and you know, Adam. No.
No more distraction, pollution of the river.
No more distraction and pollution of the land.
Wait.
Yes.
Let Nathan reflect over. You know, Nathan, you are the musicologist.
What's a good tune? I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, you know everything. Yes, you know.
It has this dance hall feel. You see, I'm saying.
You are nodding your head.
Yeah,
because you're taking the.
Yes, I'm taking it.
So this is why if you are taking your palm wine, you are sipping it and you are reflecting on the words. You say,
yes,
we have to do something.
Yes, we have to do something.
You have to listen to organized labor.
Maybe so. So as the old man is reflecting this morning, he should use this tune.
Yeah, exactly.
You know the things he's talking about. The Galamsey matter, the cardiovascular.
No, he said they should give him time.
No, I'm saying that he should reflect over the words of Adam.
Okay.
This we are the first to have it.
Yes.
I know some people are using cassette to record it. That's unlawful. That's the breach of intellectual property right. We have exclusive right for now. Next week you can enjoy. But for now,
let's get into the newspaper review. It's brought to you by Fidelity Bank, but Adam, go get him. That's a great one. And Total Excellium, every hour new pages turn, every day a new chapter to keep your dreams alive. Today you're a tabletop owner, tomorrow you're a shopfront owner, today you're a student, tomorrow you're an esquire, you're a big man. The list goes on and on. Whatever it is that you do, add value to this world. Remember that your efforts are conspiring to make your plans happen. At Fidelity Bank Ghana Limited, our purpose is to inspire your success and collaborate with you every step of the way. Believe with us, Ebefa. You've heard about the incredible benefits of Excellium from Total Energies. Premium fuel with 3-in-1 amazing power. It cleans your engine, extends its life, and lowers your fuel consumption. It reduces your vehicle's fuel consumption while reducing the CO2 emissions as well. All you need to do now is to fill up and drive. Experience the difference with Total Energies Excellium. New formula. Choose Excellium. Choose quality. No more distraction in the land. Set the rivers free. This is blazing. You see?
Charlie, this one.
Asomia roll.
Charlie, Yaman.
Can't cool, can't quench.
Respect.
Anibo Nipa. Yes, Rastaman iron in the building.
Can't
quench. In a top seat.
The thing has passed the wrong place.
Calm down.
Charlie, no, you have killed me. Because when I was growing up, when I was in secondary school, when I was in primary school, when I was JSS, I wanted to be a musician.
Oh, you wanted to be a Rastaman. That would have been deadly.
Unfortunately, despite my exploits and the fame I had accumulated
as
for
entertainment prefect,
my old lady said, my friends, that is thank you. By now, I'll be featuring alongside them, Charlie. You would have been here.
It's not too late.
I'll be a global icon. You know what I want to do, Charlie. No,
it's not too late.
Adam, no, this is a good one. It's not late.
You can join the time.
I think we have to do a remix of this beautiful tune
with Esquire.
Yeah, with myself.
Go get him an Esquire.
Listen to the people and the voice of reason. To my viewer, me walk over, say what I mean in life for we.
To my viewer, me walk over. The citizens are saying arise and act promply.
Yes,
I love it.
I love it. You act promptly, fast.
Dabla.
Yeah, that's
nature.
Right. Yeah, nature.
And I see some protesters are saying same.
Yes. So if you go to the Ghanaian Times this morning, anti-Galamsey demo hits Accra as protesters begin 3-day march in the city. Also hold local authorities and chiefs, others responsible for surge in Galamsey. This is coming in from Dr. Mantiel. And Ghana confirms first case of, is it Mpox?
Mpox, yes.
Okay, the monkeypox they call it. Mm-hmm. And it comes with a photograph of the Dr. Patrick Kuma Abuaje, who is the Director General of the Ghana Health Service. And 32 Democracy Hub protesters sue IGP and the AG over alleged human rights violations.
If you go to the front page of the Daily Graphic, motorway street lights vanish.
True.
Hey. There's a picture of the motorway without street lights, and then another picture that says some of the broken down street lights on the Tema Accra stretch. KNUST, UEW, UGBS for tertiary businesses challenge final. Blame prosecutors for delayed Galamsey cases. That's coming from her ladyship, the Chief Justice. And Eurobond investors forgive Ghana $5 billion debt. So that's on the front page of the Daily Graphic.
Okay, so let me take you to another daily, which is the Daily Analyst. They say anti-Galamsey demo protesters drag IGP AG to court over alleged human rights violations. Also, on the front page this morning, the story about monkeypox makes it, and customer satisfaction index report launch. ADB wins big at CIMG.
Okay, if you go to the Daily Guide, Nana mocks Mahama over number 8. Of course, the monkeypox story is here. Ghana's the Ghana Eurobond story also here. And a J Mensa Corsa gifts 50 motorbikes to Bono NPP.
Let me take you to the Daily Post newspaper for this morning. Election 2024, Fitch predicts victory for NDC. John Dramani Mahama is here on the front page of the newspaper. Also, we have not seen our MP for 2 years. Residents of Ikiapim cry out. And then Catholic Church to lead prayer protests against Galamsey.
Prayer protest.
Yes, that's right. They are praying and they are protesting.
My
at the same
God.
time. So,
A luta continua.
yes, on October 11th. Yes.
so.
Go there inside.
If you go to the Herald, Ochedako slams devilish rumors about Bedi Eto's health, cries out the hatred is deep and scary. Furious Ekufuado considers arrest and prosecution over ECG mismanagement. Other stories, Kolebu CEO sent packing by board, and Tamale gets new integrated waste management plant. Plus, Ekuapim North Assembly angry at local government minister for diversion of common fund by Dukia.
The news center says water bodies getting cleaner in central region due to security operations against Galamsey. This story yesterday, the Ghana Water Company issued some statement some way.
Clearly.
Also on the front page, First Sky Group chairman makes strong case for renewable energy.
Right.
Again, we are told Eurobond debt exchange achieves 98.6% participation, and Ghana records again the first case of mpox infection.
Okay, if you go to the Republic Press, Ekufuado begs labor unions over planned strike.
Oh, okay.
MPP calls out Owusu Bempa over Mahama prophecy. Democracy have protested sue IGP AG. There's Gabi Ochedako talking about hatred towards Asante Bedi too, and then you have the mpox story here as well.
Let me take you to the Informer. Abo Mante family appeals to government over regularization of Ajay Kojo lands. Also, OSP closes investigations into Airbus. Bita Amidu cries wolf and goes in the process. On politics, election 2024, Baumia embodies loyalty, clear vision. This is according to the president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo. And towards addressing sanitation challenges in the north, government just want to unveil ultra-modern recycling plant to deal with the issues.
Okay, if you go to the Inquisitor newspaper, they also have the Amidu story. Completion of Airbus investigations. Bitter Amidu weeps bitterly and attacks OSP. Unions heavily divided over intended Galamsey strike. And there's a picture of the TUC's Secretary General. Richard, what's the title again? Brother Joshua Ansah is here. There's a picture of him here. Okay.
What's Chronicle
The
saying?
Chronicle says JM's economic performance doesn't merit second term. This is a university lecturer. Quoted here, Professor Boidi is on the front page of the Chronicle. Also, though government will improve access to information, Fatimatu Abubakar, the Minister for Information, is quoted here saying, and Martina J. Mensa Kosa donates motorbikes cash to Bono East NPP, and water quality in Cape Coast improved.
The Ghanaian publisher has the Eurobond story here, the Airbus story. Ghana Water saying water in Cape Coast is improving. And also Zoom Lion clarifies payment of YEA operatives. That's on page 8 of the paper.
And let me take you finally to the Catholic Standard. The Catholic people say they are going on a protest and prayer, mission against illegal mining, and I'm in full support of them. The story, the lead story says, I feel at home in Ghana. This is the new nuncio who has joined us. Also, civil society groups call for treaty to combat pollution, which is also within the space we're talking about.
Right.
And then also we must be ruthless in dealing with sin. This is according to Bishop Afuakwa.
Okay.
And some other stories here on the front page.
Great. Let me take you online quickly. Channel1news.com. Prosecution of Democracy Hub protesters as charade of Justice Francis Sosu Xavier is speaking. Confirmed Mpox case not severe. Ghana Health Service is speaking now. The president is making a passionate appeal on the Galamsey issues. He says reconsider October 10 strike. Akufo-Addo appeals to organized labor. But when you go to citinewsroom.com, ignore Akufo-Addo's plea and San Asare to organize labor. Nationwide strike not solution to Galamsey crisis. Deputy Education Minister to organize labor. Ban parent associations if you deem them problematic. Naga to government. Citizens against Galamsey to petition Lands Ministry today. And then if you go to myjoyonline.com, organized labor should reject Akufo-Addo's Galamsey plea and San Asare again. Hohoi resident given strokes for destroying NPP posters. Nationwide strike won't solve Galamsey challenge. Deputy Education Minister. Government agrees to revoke LI 2462 to halt mining and forest reserves. This is Ghana Federation of Labor, and it says it's a claim. Paramount Chief of Lower Axim arrests 3 people from Galamsey sites. If I take you to class very quickly. Protesters demand release of activists condemn Galamsey on day 1 of 3-day protests. Democracy Hub protesters sue IGP AG over alleged rights violation. Ghana successfully restructures Eurobond debt. That's here as well. Catholic Church to lead prayer protest against Galamsey on October 11. Ghana's reputation more important than any government or politicians. This is Sadiq Adams defending the anti-Galamsey protest. If you go to BBC, massive blast near Beirut airport as Israeli strikes intensify. Melania Trump is latest Republican First Lady to back abortions. On CNN, Israel targets presumed new Hezbollah chief. And there's one here on how flying on China's homegrown passenger jet compares to Boeing and Airbus. And then interestingly, made deported by Malaysia for criticizing Cambodian leaders on social media. So let's get into the details of the stories in the papers and we'll bring you online a bit later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me take you to the Ghanaian Times, which leads with a story about yesterday's demonstration. And it was peaceful, and we hope that it will continue like that. Page 12 of the newspaper has details of the story, and it says that it's actually by Lawrence Vomafa Akpalu. And it says hundreds of protesters yesterday started a 3-day demonstration in Accra to demand an end to illegal mining and the release of 53 Democracy Hub protesters or members arrested during a similar protest about 2 weeks ago. Now, led by the National Coalition Against Galamsey, they walked from the Okponglo bus stop near the University of Ghana Sports Stadium through Shiashi, the airport junction, Kawukudi junction, Kanda Ministries, and ended at the frontage of the Accra
That's
Sports
like a long
Stadium.
walk to freedom.
Yep. At the Ministries, the protesters who started the 8-hour demonstration that covered about 15 kilometers made a stopover at the office of the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice to present a petition. One of the protest conveners, Brownson Adachi, who co-signed the petition with other conveners, including Kamri Tego and Efa Ampim, presented the document. Now, the spokesperson of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Isaac Wilberforce, received the petition on behalf of the Sector Minister, Godfred Yeboah Dami, and he goes on to talk about some of the things that were screaming from the placards that they had erected as they moved along.
Okay, so that very interesting event from yesterday. I think the other big event from yesterday, or maybe we should stay with that one because of the lawsuit.
Exactly. There is something else here I want to draw your attention before I go to the lawsuit.
Okay.
So hold local authorities and chiefs as well as others responsible for the surge in Galamsey. This is coming in from a respected environmental activist and someone who is interested in civil society, Dr. Steve Mantiel. The story by Jirasa Daniel from Sunyani says local authorities such as chiefs, district chief executives and law enforcement agencies, especially the police, should be held liable for the surge in illegal mining, which is known as Galamsey. The co-chair of the Ghana Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, Dr. Steve Mantiel, has said. Now, he explained that the country's criminal code enjoins citizens, especially these local authorities, to report or arrest people who commit crime, and that their failure to do anything about Galamsey is marks of complicity. Now, if you go to the story about the detainees who are suing the Attorney General and then also the police service, the story is on the front page of the Daily Analyst, details on pages 3 and 4. So the story says about 32 Democracy Hub protesters have dragged the Inspector General of Police, the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice to court over alleged human rights violations. Now, the demonstrators, represented by Medina MP Francis Xavier Susu, are requesting an injunction from the High Court to enforce their fundamental human rights, which include freedom of movement, the right to protest, the right to personal liberty, respect for human dignity, and freedom of expression.
Right.
The complaint also seeks protection from unlawful and arbitrary arrest, incarceration, malicious prosecution, the right to legal representation, and the right to bail.
Now, Sky, the outcome of organized labor's meeting with the presidency yesterday is captured on channel1news.com.
Okay.
The president is appealing to them to reconsider their October 10th strike. Samit Riafe is writing details as follows. In a bid to address escalating tensions surrounding illegal mining, President Akufo-Addo has appealed to organized labor to reconsider its planned strike set for October the 10th. Now, this appeal was made during a closed-door meeting on Thursday, October 3, with union leaders, where the need for decisive government action against illegal mining dominated the discussion. Sources from the meeting indicated that the president urged organized labor to postpone their strike, requesting additional time to adequately respond to their demands. Now, frustration within organized labor has been growing as members perceive the government's efforts to combat illegal mining as lacking. Now, how much time do we need to give the government for them to do a decisive thing on this matter? And I mean, really, how difficult is it to declare a state of emergency? Because we've seen Parliament is on recess, but it was called back to pass some tax waivers and things. So how much time do we need to declare a state of emergency and things?
Some of which were not really part of the problems we're facing? Because, for instance, they were to deal with Galamsey, and they kept talking about, you did more, we did less.
I mean, what is this?
This is something that requires executive action.
Thank you.
And we cannot wait any longer. Yes, you requested the audience with the
organized labor.
They came in there. I don't think you should be asking for more time. You have had how many years? 8 years to confront this problem and deal with it decisively. This is not the time to be asking for more time. So Mr. President, respectfully, we are not giving you more time. And organized labor, please, we want to hear from you. What is your position on your meeting with the president? You need to issue a statement and tell us categorically what your position is. And we are backing you to lay down your tools, bring this country to a halt, and force the president to do what is right by
solidarity. Now, so Ansar Asari is asking organized labor to ignore President Akufo-Addo's plea. Story is on citinewsroom.com. Former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansar Asari, has urged organized labor to disregard President Akufo-Addo's appeal to call off its planned nationwide strike after against illegal mining. President appealed to organized labor to reconsider its strike. Okay, let me give you a quote. On assumption of office, he said he would put his presidency on the line and said should he fail the Galamsey fight, he will pay for it. We have asked him to apologize, but he hasn't apologized. He has only 8 weeks to end his tenure, and by now he should have allowed his vice, Dr. Baumia, to assume the reins of government. He shouldn't be asking organized labor to do anything. He has not been sincere. You will not keep any promise that you give within the next 8 weeks. So as far as I am concerned, organized labor should proceed with their timetable.
They should strike. They should strike. The strike should come off, and it must be sustained. The president must feel the heat. We cannot continue like this.
That's something.
Some of them are, in the position to fly out of this country and reside elsewhere. Some of us cannot. There are many people who are drinking from undrinkable sources.
Thank you.
It is completely unacceptable. There must be presidential and executive action. We must see it now. it must not be within the shortest possible time. We want to see it now. If there is anything to do, don't do it tomorrow. Do it today.
Anyway, if you go to page 2 of the Chronicle, water quality in Cape Coast improves. This coming from the Ghana Water Company, and it is saying that the Setrahiman water treatment plant, which supplies potable water to Cape Coast, is currently, or Cape Coast and environs, is currently recording an average stability of 9,000 NTU compared to the previous 14,000 NTU. A statement released by the Ghana Water Company yesterday said the feat had been achieved through the efforts of the Central Regional Security Council led by Mrs. Justina Marigold-Assan, the regional minister, and it detailed all of that in a statement that came out yesterday.
Okay, let me give you one more story. The Catholic Church is leading the line or taking part in campaign against illegal mining, and the story is on page 6. Pages 6 and 7 of the Daily Post newspaper. The Catholic Church of Accra, that says, in collaboration with the Conference of Major Superiors of Religious in Ghana, or religions in Ghana, that's what they want to say, I hope, will be leading a large-scale prayer protest next week. Now, this initiative seeks to rally Ghanaians from all walks of life to unite in both prayer and action to end the devastation caused by Galamsey.
Nice.
Now, the protest, scheduled for Friday, the 11th day of October 2024, which is expected to draw support from over 50 organizations that have already voiced concerns over Galamsey, will combine prayer with public demonstrations. Now, in the statement, the organizers emphasize the spiritual dimension of the fight against illegal mining, urging citizens to call on God to do what we cannot do as humans to intervene in this Galamsey fight.
Nathan, what's happening to the street lights on the motorway?
Well, that's on the front page and page 3 of the Daily Graphic. The story says almost all the street lights that were installed on the 19-kilometer Accra-Tema motorway have vanished after 3 years. The Daily Graphic team recently observed that many of the street lights and poles installed in 2021 along the stretch had disappeared.
Not only the lamp on the street light, the pole too is not there.
While
Have they taken it away to
Maybe it's the expansion project, or?
while the few remaining poles are damaged, okay, despite the numerous public institutions involved in the project, none could provide the reasons for the missing street lights, with the Ghana Highway Authority, the Ministry of Roads and Highways, and the Ministry of Energy pointing fingers at one another. So the Daily Graphic went there, and there's a picture on page 3. They took a picture of the same spot in 2023, and they've taken another picture of the same spot in 2024, just to tell you the difference. In one picture, you can see the lights and the poles going as far as the eye could see. In the other shot, it's all empty space with only cars, a tarred road, and all of those.
There will be more on the show later this morning, but Sky, I understand when Parliament was recalled, they rather passed a loan of $250 million instead of the tax waiver I mentioned earlier. But the protest, the Catholic bishops, the prayer protest, we are happy about it.
Yes, we are in full support.
Piva beverages,
yes,
they say they are happy about it.
Yes.
That's why they are sawing our sinning. They are supporting us
to
bring you the newspaper review, which we just brought you. So during the day, grab some Piva beverage while you get ready for the butu-butu that is
if you are
coming.
going to protest today, to make sure that you have a few in your...
Very important.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show.
The
city's biggest conversation.
That was the newspaper review. Thank you, Sky. Thank you, Nathan.
The go. Google me. And what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it, it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind self be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my gobe fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my gobe inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the gobe too small.
The go.
Yo, Pana. Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel. Say Excellium. Choose Excellium. Choose quality.
Charlie, today the matter will catch me. I received urgent order from my online store. Customer wants 10 pieces sharp. Hey, but my wahala be delivery. Stress so me too. I no get order in weeks. So then I make slow. Charlie, I decide to deliver this thing myself. Quiet. I was willing to trust my small tired car like that. But boy, I no even leave my area where the whole place full of snow. Engine kaput, Pascal. As the boys they help me push the car off the road, where I look up and raise my head, where I see for Fidelity Bank billboard top. This too just be chapter. Ebefa. Then Norma Vim come. Listen, I dog the sadness and find Okada fast. I deliver all the goods, collected my money, and even got referrals from this customer. Ebefa. At Fidelity Bank, we believe you can achieve your dreams. Believe with us. Ebefa.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva Tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangerine. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Neela Tilat is in with the news, the business news shortly, brought to you by MTN. Get 10% off food, drinks, beauty and cosmetics, home essentials, electrical appliances, mobile phone and accessories, clothing and etc. Made in Ghana goods, so much more at the Momo Cashless Market. You heard right, from the 2nd to the 6th of October at the Tetekwashi Interchange. There will be over 100 merchants in one place with amazing discounts for all Momo customers. So do well to pass by. 2nd to 6th of October each day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Just Momo everywhere you go. We'll say good morning to Latte.
Good morning to you, Caleb.
Morning, Black. What's happening this morning?
Well, this morning we are starting off with the economy, particularly Ghana's IMF program, because the International Monetary Fund is likely to pass Ghana for the third review of its program as the mission staff has concluded its 2-week assessment of the country's fiscal data. The review saw the team assessing Ghana's performance per the targets and structural benchmarks as of June ending. What Citi Business News has picked up is that Ghana has met all the criteria and will be passed today at the joint IMF Bank of Ghana and Ministry of Finance press conference. The mission team will return to Washington, D.C. to present its report to the IMF board for the approval of the 4th tranche of $360 million. This tranche, if approved, will bring Ghana's total disbursement under the fund to $1.92 billion. More on the economy, because government says it will begin servicing its Eurobond debt before the end of October. It follows the successful restructuring of the $13 billion Eurobond debt, which saw a 98% overwhelming participation from Eurobond holders. Ghana has so far successfully restructured 90% of its external debt, a move which has formalized Ghana's access to the international capital market, although government will not start borrowing anytime soon. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam says servicing the Eurobond debt coupled with other developments signal Ghana's economic return to the pre-pandemic levels.
So by the 98% we've achieved, we've all consented to the exchange, but the actual exchange will take place over the next 2 weeks. And once you exchange, it means that there is settlement, and therefore you have to start paying, servicing the debt. There are different levels of creditors that we are dealing with. for the Euro bondholders, we start the servicing of the debt once we settle. Plans for capital market. We are back there with this conclusion on the restructuring of the Euro bonds. Our debt, Euro bonds are going to start trading the very day we settle. And so we are back. Whether we'll go out, borrowing, that is the decision we are yet to make. So in due course, we will announce to the world when we're going to take additional debts. But as far as going back to the capital market, we are back to the capital market because our bonds are going to start trading from the day we settle. Many people have said that the international capital market has abandoned Ghana, but I can tell you that with this development, we are back and we are formalizing and normalizing our financial relationship with international markets.
That's the voice of Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. Meanwhile, economic watchers are calling for strict adherence to fiscal discipline following the successful restructuring of the Eurobond debt. Commenting on this development in a Citi Business News interview, finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Patrick Isumin, opined that although it marks a significant milestone in the country's recovery efforts, Ghana's economic struggles are far from over.
So it's good that as long as we are heading to the completion of the debt exchange, this means that we are going to resume servicing our external debt that had been on hold for a long time. I think I heard the finance minister try to say this is going to be positive news for the city. I'm not so sure that will be the case. So while it's good that we are completing this, I don't think it's something for us to start saying that we are out of the woods. We are not. In any case, the fundamental drivers of our debt have not been addressed sufficiently. I don't think that we should interpret this to mean we have finished our debt exchange and therefore our debt is suddenly in a place that we can start celebrating. It is not.
Professor Patrick Isumin is an economist and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School. Let's get some currency update on the forex market before I leave you. The dollar trading at 16 cedis 50 pesos. The British pound is going for 21 cedis. The euro could be sold to you at 18 cedis 10 pesos. Well, that's it by way of the Friday edition of the Citi Business News on the Citi Breakfast Show, which was proudly brought to you by MTN, Goyle and Access Bank. We've got more business stories for you on citinewsroom.com/business. I am Ni Latte. Thanks for tuning in. The Citi Business edition is coming up next.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244 308 111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
As 8 after 7, 97.3 Citi FM. We call it the Citi Breakfast Show. On the business edition this morning, we're talking energy transition, electric vehicle adoption. Big conversation with a guest from the Energy Commission, a Yale scholar, and she does many things in clean energy and sustainable development, both home and abroad. We're bringing you that exciting conversation with Doris Edem Agbavivi. Doris Edem Agbavivi, Life Sweets Agbavivi. We'll be bringing you that shortly. But while life is sweet, First Bank Ghana makes it sweeter. If you're sending money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, it's easy and exciting now. Through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System PAPS, you can send and receive money from Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, Sierra Leone in minutes for business and personal purposes. All you need to do is to visit any First Bank branch nationwide with your cash and your money is transferred. You can receive same way. This is another way by which First Bank is putting you first. For more information on the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, please call 059-6921-921. First Bank, you first. Now the Telecel More Money promo is getting exciting. 1.2 million Ghana cedis app daily, weekly draw with more to go. You could be a winner too, simply opting for free by dialing star 500 hash, send win to 500 or visit the Telecel Play app. It's a promo that's regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform. T's and C's apply. Telecel, connecting energies. Now imagining cruising through town, tune into Citi FM while sitting comfortably in your own Volkswagen. My goodness, whether it's the sleek Vetus, the stylish T-Cross, the powerful Amarok, the stunning T1, or the versatile and spacious Terramont, each one is proudly assembled right here in Ghana with 0% VAT on all VW vehicles. There is no better time to get yours. Call Universal Motors Limited today on 0544-338804. Make every ride more enjoyable with the perfect Volkswagen for you. So let's get to listen to Doris Edem Agbavivi on Citi Business Edition today. We're talking energy transition, electric vehicle adoption. Our guests, Doris Edem Agbavivi, is an energy analyst working with the Energy Commission. She's the coordinator of the Drive Electric Initiative in Ghana. She's a Yale scholar and does many things in clean energy and sustainable development, both home and abroad. Doris Edem Agbavivi on the Citi Business Edition for you. Enjoy.
Rise above the noise.
Welcome to another edition of the Citi Business Edition here on 97.3 Citi FM. My name is Bernard Able. Today we'll be talking to one of the faces of the Drive Electric Initiative in Ghana, an energy analyst and a Yale Climate Fellow with many years of experience in clean energy, sustainable development, with particular expertise in sustainable energy and transport initiatives. She's also a champion of energy efficiency research, auditing, emerging technologies, planning and policy. So quite a lot for my guest, Doris Edem Agbavivi. Welcome to the Citi Business Edition, Doris.
Thank you, Bernard.
Did I describe you properly?
Yes, you did. You did justice to it.
You spent the past 7 years at the Energy Commission, pushing the Drive Electric Initiative. So before we get into that, how can somebody be fascinated by some of the things I mentioned? Clean energy, sustainable development, transport. It sounds some way. For some people, it's like, why does that area excite you and give you so much energy?
Because it's the future, really. Sustainability is the future. Clean energy is the future. Clean transportation is the future. And so an emerging techs and what they're going to do for us is where we're going in the future, right? You're talking AI. We're talking about all of these emerging techs, blockchain technology and everything, these are what is going to define the future. So it may look a bit far-fetched today, but it's what is going to define the future. And for me particularly, that's why it excites me, really.
A lot of times when I hear people talk about the need for sustainability and things like clean energy, the skeptics say, oh, don't mind these Europeans. They've done all the dirty energy and develop, and then they come and tell us that we should do sustainability and green energies, which cannot power development. So there's a lot of skepticism around that in Africa. As an African who's driving this type of thing across the continent, how do you feel when you hear that?
I feel they are justified to a large extent, but they also need to think about the future, and that should, I don't like to take any sides. I think everybody is justified in where they're coming from their thoughts. Let me explain to you why I feel they're justified. It's true that if you contribute about just 4% to all your emissions, you shouldn't be now asking me to clean my house. And it's true that, Europe in the industrial ages, the UK, for instance, were just blowing steam all over, right? And that alone, what the emissions you created out of that, it's true that you have powerhouses like China and the rest all blowing around, so you don't put so much emphasis on Africa now. But it is also true that the future relies on us, we those now here. So how do we now approach the future from this perspective to the others? I keep saying that it's not so much about whether we did so much to cause it, but it's so much about whether we are resilient enough when things start going wrong. COVID taught us a beautiful example about how our continent is not resilient to be able to come on when there are such attacks, and when there are climate-related attacks, what do we do? That becomes the conversation. So we have to make a move, because we are not at a position that can take the disasters as and when they come through. So it's true that we haven't done so much, but it's also true that we are also not resilient enough to take the hits when they come. So
it's almost like you are not part of the problem that caused the disturbance in the classroom, but when the teacher comes, everybody will be punished.
Thank you.
So you better be prepared to mitigate the effects of the action that you probably did not lead. This is what you're saying in English.
This is what I'm saying, and it may sound unfair, but again, if there's a climate disaster now, it doesn't concentrate that this is Europe, I'm going to only affect Europe, I'm going to only affect. When there's a climate disaster, when it's about the environment, it affects everybody. So you are not particularly going to now say, oh, because Europe caused it, let Europe alone be affected. The environment knows, the nature knows all at one. When you gather rubbish in front of your house, and my house is next to yours, and you think you've swept your side, but I have gathered rubbish, guess what? When it rains, the rubbish will come to your side, even though you cleaned your side so well, even though you didn't have anything to cause on that problem, but my rubbish will come to yours. It's the unfairness of it, and that is why when we start making conversations like Europe should pay for it, the damages, it becomes a bit more interesting.
Is that why we hear things like just transitions?
Thank you.
What do they mean by a just energy transition, for example?
It's just saying everybody should transition, but we should transition based on your capacity to transition, based on the resources that you have available. It has to be just based on what you have to be able to take in that transition. So Europe can transition based on what they have now. Norway at this point has almost over 90% concentration of electric vehicles, for instance. When they are transitioning, they shouldn't we will not transition at the same pace as Norway is transitioning. The justness of the transition is about the ability to take it, our resources, right, and of course the technology we have to be able to back it up. But the biggest of all is the financing you have to be able to take it. So it should be just based on these tenets that you want to use to explain the conversation, really.
There are some buzzwords now that we hear. Climate change is one, sustainable development is another, and then energy transitions is also there. Renewable energy also comes in. Are two things? Are these ideas related? And also, do they merit there's a certain fancy, they sound sexy now. Every program you go to, climate transition, are these as core as they sound? Right? Because there are people who still need food to eat, people who don't have houses to live in, people who are living in very precarious situations. Yet we keep hearing climate adaptability, climate mitigation. These are nice things. But again, as somebody who understands the global picture but also works in the reality of Africa, do you think these terms are worth the attention we give them, and also try and break them down for it to make sense to those who don't really work in that sector? So 2-in-1 question.
Yes. Bernard, let me just say it this way. Somebody is hungry on the streets, right? You still have to reduce your emissions. I think for the person hungry on the streets, all they think about is how you're going to feed me, right? And then you are also looking at your emissions and that angle of it. They are both equally important, and I want to point it out that they are both equally important. And I think the conundrum when it comes to us here in Africa is trying to balance economic development with this transition. The fact that you had a whole host of people that economically developed on cheap fuel. We're talking again on very affordable fuel that was pushed by coal and so many conversations, right? Now, the conversation we have on developing on clean energy is a different thing. It becomes a bit more expensive than the cheaper form of energy that some part of the world did develop with. So it becomes a conversation that you ask yourself, where does climate change come in that conversation? Where does energy transition place in that conversation? Are these buzzwords, or are we saying that sustainability is something we should look at today for the future? The person, hungry or not, if he eats, he needs to survive for tomorrow. Whether there is an environment to be able to live in tomorrow also should be a question that the person who is hungry should ask themselves. I hope we get what I'm saying. Yes, hunger, it's important. Yes, we are treating that. But at the same time, after you've given the person food to eat and they have everything, and where would they stay and if there is no environment to live in tomorrow? So I believe that these issues are all equally important. We should give it equal attention. It's not just a buzzword as much as we have come to speak about it. Nature sustains itself. We have to now help nature to sustain itself, not go the reverse, because the world was sustaining itself in the days where we didn't have all of this new techs and all that we were doing, right? So we just have to come back to a place where we're leaning more towards the environment and naturals than we are leaning towards the artificials and being able to emit more, right? But in doing this also, you have the fine line in between that becomes that, you have to be able to make sure you have. And that's where the SDGs come in, right? The 17 SDGs. Somehow, somewhere, there is a no hunger. But somehow, somewhere, there is climate action. And somehow, somewhere, on number 7, there is clean energy, right? So universal access to energy becomes number 7. There is a 13 that's talking about climate action, right? But then there is a 2 that's also talking about what? No hunger, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, that all of them are equally important. We have to be able to balance the scales and be able to drive the attention that we need to all of them at the same time. It's like a bicycle. We have to be moving forward, but at the same time, we have to be pedaling, right? So we're doing that balancing act, which needs to go on.
This is the Citi Business Edition. We're having a chat with the coordinator of the Drive Electric Initiative in Ghana, Doris Edem-Abevivi, who's an energy analyst with interest in clean energy, sustainable development, and the rest of it. Started off by giving us some broad strokes. I want you to talk about the current job you do as I call you the main advocate for the Drive Electric Initiative. What is the Drive Electric Initiative, by the way, and why is that such an important part of, or why should that be an important part of our urban development strategy?
Drive Electric Initiative is just an initiative that I started somewhere in 2019 with my boss then. It was because we looked at certain things in the environment that needed to change in our context, Ghana. One of them being the fact that we needed to find demand, we needed to create demand in the system to take our supply capacity that we have as a country in energy terms, and the future of energy in that context. The second one was also looking at the fact that what else could drive that development? It was transportation, because you had residential using electricity, industry using electricity. Beyond these two, what else could create demand in the system? It was transportation, because if you take all of the vehicles in Ghana and electrify those transportations, the emissions that you could get out of the savings on emissions would be very huge. But I think we think of it in the very final terms. When are we changing all the vehicles? No, we are not. We need to start somewhere, and that is the birth of the Drive Electric initiative, an initiative to bring the conversations to where we need to start from, right? To start putting the groundwork together. Somebody needed to come and start, right? And so it was an initiative started in 2019, which I started against all odds, I would say, because nobody ever believed that Ghana should be talking about electric mobility as you have today, that is being talked about so much. But there were key things that needed to happen for that demand to be created in the system. There were a lot of advent benefits, emissions, air pollution on our roads. Really, our air quality in Accra was another benefit as a result of it. There was the benefit of dumping, being able to, when I talk about dumping, I'm like vehicles coming into Africa, like the used vehicles. We hear of all of the things. Europe, by 2030, most European countries would have all gone electric. Ask yourself, Bernard, where are the cars coming to? I was at UNEP last time, and the conversations was over 50% of the vehicles that come to the continent are used, right? And then when you come to Ghana, over 80% of our vehicles are used. We are going to be having those dumping of vehicles. What conversations, where do we start from to bring the conversation? We have to start from somewhere, bring the conversations to bear, start working on it. So that was the birth of the Drive Electric initiative. It started as that, and we looked at key components that could make this work. Awareness creation. You can't tell people to do something they don't know anything about, and that's where you see key of it being awareness. Then there was you making sure there is policy, right, to drive this whole initiative forward. There was a talk on such standards and regulations, right, about looking at the whole charging infrastructure framework. How are we going to approach it as Ghana? Are we going to approach it as the West did, where the West had maybe the government pushing all the charging stations? I looked at Ghana, I looked at where we were as a country. I think it was a private sector push, but the private sector pushing it required a public sector partnership, right? Then I looked at incentives, the fact that without incentives, you are not going to have these deeper penetrations that you are hoping for, right? And so this was the birth of the drive, and these are the things I set out to work on. So it was in that way, trying to tick these boxes, right? Looking at data and trying to get the conversations right on this. So it made me start this initiative, as you saw.
So this Drive Electric initiative has been with us since 2019.
Yes,
so we are in its 5th year.
Yes.
And how is that going between 2019, when the original conversations were had and a few conferences? How well has the country moved within that space?
I think with regards to all the challenges that I had to really come up against, with regards to all that, the fact that there wasn't that much enthusiasm around mobility and everything back then, I would say we've done really quite interesting work so far. Because in 2019 October, when the minister, the then minister, Deputy Minister of Energy, William Oreku, and then Oreku Edu, and then Osafo Mafo, then the senior minister, then where, if you watch, were together with my executive secretary and myself inaugurating the project. After October, I had to now go see most people to get them to be on board on this. But then there was the 2020 January, February, and then there was the onset of COVID, and then everything just went down the drain, right? So the support to be able to get advocacy out and all now went down the drain. But then by the end of the year, I started now working towards how to do some of the biggest things to bring the conversations back to where it was. And that was what you saw birth the e-mobility conference, the first e-mobility conference we had as a country.
This was 2021?
2021 in September. And this was purely funded by people in the industry. It was by the private sector coming on board. It was by some of the public sector institutions all funding it in such a way to bring the conversations. And Bernard, if I tell you the feedback I got from people after that conference, because there was the feedback for most people, that was the first time they were seeing an electric car. I mean, I know that not all the media personalities were there, but it was exciting to see the school people in Kumasi Tech or in all that who had the opportunity to pass through Sunyani Tech and say, okay, they see a Wuling for the first time, right? They want to open the bonnet to see what is there. Is there really not a battery? You got the excitement up, and I'm like, this is how you want people to be able to understand what you are talking about. It's like you're telling someone there's something called an electric vehicle. It only uses a battery. It doesn't have an engine, a pure electric vehicle in this case. It doesn't have an engine. It doesn't even have an exhaust fume. All they're doing is trying to imagine it. They don't even see how it even looks like. Neither do they even get to know the benefits. So I think that was the onset of it. And that space brought together a lot of the policy people that are needed in the conversation. Remember, we have a plan. The plan was to make sure policy was in place, the regulations were going on, to set the groundwork right. If the private sector was going to come into where government needed to do what we needed to do, right? So
within the 5 years, you would say the various stakeholders sort of, they have a meeting of minds around where we are going.
I totally would say that.
And these stakeholders will include, obviously, the Ministry
of Transport, the Ministry of Energy, the Ghana Standards Authority that does most of the Ministry of Finance that came through to get out through the incentives, right? The GRA, Customs, in terms of trying to implement the incentives that we have, really. The EPA now doing the e-waste policy and all of the conversation that's going to come in when it comes to the batteries and afterlife.
So all these actors sort of know where we are going with the transition into e-mobility.
I would believe that, yes, they all.
And we've held a couple of e-mobility conferences. I think we did 2023 and 24 as well.
Yeah, so 2022 wasn't a pure conference, it was a charging forum.
Okay.
So this one was purely based on the charging. Right, so
how to charge the vehicle.
Yeah, to bring the business, the technology and policy to one place. So I brought in actors from the IEA, from Dundee City.
Where
from
IEA is?
The International Energy Agency based in Paris. So these are all the people that had worked with over the time, the international community. I actually will go to most of these conferences to do presentations and stuff, right? So this is my leverage, right? So you do when
and
it's time to call them for you to come.
Because you're saying Ghana is ready, so come and help us to start.
Exactly.
I'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll try and move away from the policy questions to the common questions people ask about e-mobility. All right. So if I move to an electric car, can it take me to Tamale and bring me back? Will I be able to charge it? Will it be cheaper for me? Will it be safer? How will not depending on petrol and diesel change the way transportation is managed? And where do you see the continent's transition into e-mobility? All of that and more. My guest is Doris Edemabevivi, who is the you can call it the coordinator of Ghana's e-mobility project, which is called the Drive Electric Initiative. She's enthusiastic about sustainable development and energy, and we're having a chat with her about all those things. Stay with us.
Citi 97.3. More variety.
Join the Republic Verse. Enter the Republic Bank space. Online or within the banking hall, we open the right doors for you to make the most of life. With our suite of superb banking products and services, our clients, corporate, SME, investments, and individuals get to enjoy amazing benefits. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We're the one for you.
Why do you allow cough, cold, and flu to ruin your happiness? You need Samalin cough syrup. Samalin cough syrup will relieve you and your family from coughs, cold, and flu. Samalin offers a whole range that provides relief for the entire family. Insist on your Samalin in pharmacies and over-the-counter medicine sellers. Samalin cough syrup from Danex I-Tin Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Welcome back to the Citi Business Edition. Today we're talking to an energy analyst and a Yale Climate Fellow with many years of experience in clean energy and sustainable development. She also happens to be the face of Ghana's Drive Electric Initiative. It's really our quest to promote e-mobility. And when we talk of e-mobility, we're basically talking about driving electric vehicles. Doris Edemabevivi. Doris, is it fair to say you are the face of the e-mobility space in Ghana? Is it fair if I said that?
I mean, people call me Miss Evie, so
Miss Evie.
I think it's fair.
There have been conferences I've attended where you are the only woman on the panel. Sometimes you are moderator, sometimes you are the one who's being interviewed. There don't seem to be a lot of women in the space that you are in. Am I correct?
That's fair. Yes, you are correct. I would say there isn't that many women in the field, but I think it's something you see. It mirrors the energy industry mostly, where
the energy industry generally doesn't have that many women.
It mirrors it in a way, but now it's becoming a thing of the past, where you're having a lot of women coming to the.
But how did you become so interested? How did you enter this sector?
I enter spaces that I want to enter, that I'm passionate about, but they're not because I have a room there. I mostly don't get a seat at the table, but I take my seats mostly. I'll say it that way.
Where did you get the passion for this e-mobility thing? This
e-mobility passion, weirdly enough, it stemmed from the oil and gas section. It's weird because, after my master's, when I came back to Ghana, I had my master's in energy economics, right? So I started working on the planning and policy side at the Energy Commission. And planning and policy always meant that we're looking at data. You're doing projections, right? And one of the things we do at the Energy Commission is this outlook we produce. We call it the Ghana Energy Outlook Report, right? And it gives you all the data on the energy use. So you are seeing the renewable is not growing, right? You're seeing that there could be something we could do to make renewable grow. You're seeing that you have supply, and how do you get to use that supply, really? And these are where the conversation on innovative things that could bridge the gap, right, in terms of transport electrification. So I would say that where I've gotten to stem from my journey from energy into oil and gas, into all the planning bits, to be able to see and project the future and say, how do we make renewable become a conversation? How do we make... Yes, gas will still be the conversation, our hydro will still be the conversation, but how do we start taking baby steps, right? Taking the steps towards that, and that's where this whole transport electrification came. But also, once I'm passionate about something, it means that I think they call passion a fuel, right?
So it fuels what you do.
Yeah, it fuels.
So you did a master's in energy economics at Aberdeen.
Yes.
But I suspect you have some science background as well, because quite a lot of the work in the space is pure science.
Yes, I actually did science in Accra Girls. I was a pure science student. Okay. My physics, chemistry, and biology are on point, so I love those subjects.
So that's your original...
Yeah, I love those subjects.
Before you moved into the sort of auditing, accounting, finance side.
Yes, I did science, went to business, and went to energy economics. Yeah.
And for those listening who feel like science may not necessarily be useful, how has your knowledge of science helped in this? Because, by the way, in the work I do, we notice that the energy conversation is becoming increasingly a finance conversation. So quite interesting. So even though energy basically is science, now if your energy policymakers don't understand the finance of it, they cannot succeed. So it's interesting that you started from science, went into finance, and now you're back into energy in a very weird way.
I would say science was the basis of it all. Let's get this right. Once you're doing science and you're doing it well, it opens up the world to you in a very interesting way. See, I did elective math, core math, biology, chemistry, physics, and all of these things. But I could easily get into the business school because I did elective maths, I did physics, I did a maths. So, and here I was the first time learning debits and credits in a room full of people who have been doing debits and credit their whole life. But I still could graduate with the first class because the science background made you able to open up more to the world, to be able to divert. So every time I go for STEM activities, which I do more often with the young ladies in secondary schools, I always say that don't let science feel like it's limiting you. Let it open the world to you. Don't feel that you should be on a certain path, but science should make you be open to learning new things. That's what it does for you. After you are done with science, nothing feels difficult. How do I explain it?
Let's use that to enter this discussion. So in my work, we are told to follow the money. So in journalism, when you are following a story, follow the money. All of things we've been talking about in the first part of the show, at the end of the day, it's about money, isn't it? Because somebody has to pay for the electronic vehicles. It has to make economic sense for somebody to produce it, for somebody to decide to supply power or charging stations. Do you think we've understood the money dimension of this e-mobility conversation well enough?
I would say we are learning to understand the dimensions. I'll pick it up on a business case of one of the charging stations in Ghana, right? I don't think I'm permitted to mention any names. I'll just say a charging station that is built around the model of circularity, such that they use vehicles they sell vehicles, they rent vehicles, they lease vehicles, and those particular vehicles that they lease have to use their charging stations to charge. So then they are getting more business as a result of the vehicles that they sell, and then those people can come and charge. So here you are as a private person, you want to come and install a DC charger, let's say a 60 kilowatt charger. It's quite expensive, you put a lot of money in it, and as you said, it's the money that we want to follow. As a business person, when is your payback period? Meaning, when are you getting your money back? When are you breaking even to say that, okay, your profit, your expenses and what you're getting out have actually become friends to the extent that they are at a meeting point? When do you break even, right? All of these things can take years, but the more vehicles you have, the more you get to charge, and they pay you money. So this person has taken it out of the context of just installing a charging station and looking at the fact that I can increase the number of electric vehicles I have around me charging by also going into the business of electric vehicles and the business of leasing those vehicles for people. So I also get money through my charging station. So I think it's day by day people are seeing the innovation around financing when it even comes to how they want to approach their businesses. It's not going to be the usual business, and then this is the thing I've actually even said to the banks. It's not going to be your usual loans you are giving to people. The green financing conversation has to be treated a bit more differently, because all of the people, we have a study we just did, a market study that was funded by the UNDP. It will soon be available on the website, and you would see that most of these green tech people who are coming in are all saying the banks need to bring their loans down, because without financing, they can't get these businesses off the ground. And most of these businesses are quite technical, but they are new. And anything that is innovative, you know that it's like you treading on waters that are unknown to you, right? But they need financing to support it. And that's why we have to come up with either innovative ways of doing this financing. Yes, it may be lower interest rate, but it may be a longer term of actually monitoring these companies or something of that sort that makes it possible for us to be able to finance them.
You said a lot of Western and some, in fact, more advanced countries, the movement away from fossil fuel powered vehicles to electronic vehicles is really on.
Yep.
Do you have a prediction as to when the majority of vehicles being produced by OEMs, official or original equipment manufacturers, will be electronic? So whether it's China or US or Europe, do you have a prediction where you can say by 20x more EVs will be produced than more regular fossil fuel? Are you able to say that?
I'm able to say that, and I'm able to say that based on what I'm seeing as the numbers that are growing. You have about 14 million electric vehicles now, even more. I mean, and here I'm quoting the World EV Outlook. Somewhere along the line, it's almost like doubled in just 1 or 2 years. Now, at this rate, China being the leader in producing the vehicles, China is producing it with a lot of rigorous subsidies, both to the purchaser and the seller. So you don't see these subsidies on a day-to-day. You are seeing suppliers being given subsidies to produce the vehicles. Then you are seeing the buyers also being given subsidies. So this is generating a very interesting market. No wonder China is leading the EV market now. They are the highest producers and obviously the highest people that are actually purchasing it. You're seeing Europe set timelines. You hear 2025, you hear 2030, you hear 2035 for some of them. Norway, for instance, is on course to really do 2025, because if you have 90% of your car concentration, then they are on course to do the 2025 conversation. But by 2030, you should have a lot of the European vehicles all going electric. Now, that same conversation can be true for China, that you're going to have a very significant number of vehicles in China going electric, again, because of the background I just gave you. Then you're going to have the North American side, being the Canada, the US, and the rest, all also going the same direction.
So in less than 10 years?
So in less than 10 years, I can categorically say that you're going to have a lot of vehicles moving towards EV. But by 2040, we may have 2040 now being an extra 10 years to make room for the very tortoise pace.
Actually, that's
for
16
some people.
years from today.
Yes, we are looking at the fact that we could have most of the global north, if not all of them, being electric. I can't speak the same for the global south. When I say the global south here, sorry to use that word, I don't really like it, but just to show context, it's Africa, Asia, right, and then South
Parts of Latin
America.
America. So by 2040, the majority of vehicles in the global north will be electronic vehicles.
2040,
And
right?
your point is that if we don't get ready, they will dump all the non-electronic vehicles here.
Yes.
And we will be more susceptible to fossil fuel. By the way, does having an electronic vehicle make your transportation cheaper? So in terms of comparing the vehicle and then how to fuel it, have you run any numbers on that? So if I had a Toyota Camry, which was an EV version versus a fossil fuel powered version, is there any numbers to convince us that the EV version in the long term will be cheaper for me?
Yeah, in the long term it will be cheaper for you. And then we did quite an interesting analysis on this in the baseline report. So you can, if you grab the baseline report, that you can be able to see the analysis on quite a number of vehicles. And then somebody will say that is more of a technical analysis, right? So let's bring it home. Since 2022, I've used an electric vehicle in this country, and I did it because I had to be able to get my own perspectives, right? And luckily enough, I had sponsors, people who had to bring vehicles for me to use. The Kona EV, for instance, the same Kona is an ICE, so that will do your conversation. So you have the same Kona. If you go online and you Google the Kona,
spell Kona.
Kona. It's a Hyundai Kona, all right? The Hyundai Kona, the same one is an ICE, the same features, everything, and the same build of the car. They have an electric vehicle version. So sometimes when you see it, you can't even tell until you get close and you see the EV written somewhere close in terms of that. So that really, in terms of the aesthetics and how the vehicle looks on the outside, it can be the same. But the Kona, the electric vehicle, can have a range of up to about 490, 500 kilometers, right? And then the normal one, I haven't used the normal Kona, but I would just say, assuming I use that, I would just oppose that to a CRV Honda that I use, right? So for that one, the charging components and the fact that the initial price is, yes, undoubtedly, is more expensive when it comes to the Kona EV than it is with the average Kona, like this ICE, right? Because the cost when it comes to electric vehicles, the majority of the cost, about 60%, is embedded in the battery. And once lithium-ion batteries, the conversations around this is still going the way. I mean, there are better batteries coming up and everything, but once the conversations keep being this way, the cost of those vehicles are going to be quite high.
So once we figure out making batteries cheaper, the overall cost of the vehicle will be lower.
Yes, and that makes me very excited because the EV market is beginning to mirror the solar market. When solar started, you see how quite expensive panels was, right? Now, when something happens and you have the economics of it at play, demand and supply at play, and the market components come into play, you see the prices come to take a very significant dive, or having to look how the equilibrium price should look. So that's what makes the EV quite expensive, right? But the use is a conversation. So I used an electric vehicle for 1 year, and neither did I do any maintenance, nothing, no maintenance.
No servicing. Where every month and a half you go and change oil.
No,
do that.
There's no oil you're changing. This is a full electric vehicle. There's no oil you're changing because you don't have an engine. Your engine doesn't have.
So it's just the battery.
The battery you're looking at.
So for a year, you didn't pay maintenance costs.
No, and you don't even want to hear about the fuel costs. When I say fuel here, electricity, because if I say maybe I was charging mostly at home, and the home charger, again, let me mention there are 3 levels of charging. Let's talk about the first 3 levels. There is a level 1 that you can do at home, which most people in Ghana now do, but that takes a longer time to charge, right? But it's cheaper because you're going to be charging at a residential rate, and it's even going to be charging very
So your normal ECG?
Yes, your normal ECG.
You just charge it for a long time for the battery to get to full capacity?
Yes. I used the Aura Good Card, for instance. It was also 500 kilometer range vehicle.
So when you charge the battery fully, it takes you 500 kilometers?
Yes.
Which is essentially like Accra to Kumasi and back?
Yes. And, wow. I used to use it for averagely 2 weeks and I would charge again. So in a month, I charge twice. That was when I was using it in a month. I would charge. There are days I'll go to Cape Coast and travel around the country.
So you're basically doing 1,000 kilometers every 2 weeks?
Yes, I would say that.
Wow.
Yeah, averagely. Every.
And when you look at the cost you were paying on the charging, it was not that significant?
No.
Compared to if you were buying diesel or petrol for that 1,000 kilometers?
So my normal car I will use in a month, in a week average, let's say 600 Citi fuel. So in a month, I'm looking about 2,000 to 2,400 Citi fuel for me in a month. When it came to the EV, I was looking at around 100 to 200 Citi when it came to charge it.
Wow.
You
so
see?
Over a 10-year period, no servicing charge, battery charge lower, as in charging. So in the long run, it's cheaper to have your car, although initially maybe more expensive than my car.
Yes, so that's why I like when you said that, what is the long run benefits of it? In the long run, it's cheaper because your savings is quite significant. You know, where you are saving, I think what we don't talk about is like everybody wants to have a mobile phone, but we don't talk about, okay, now you need a SIM card in them. You need to buy credits every month. So that becomes a cost component of the phone. And that's why when you go to Europe, you see them do it so that you are paying monthly for your...
You described the first level charging. So what's the second level charging of the vehicle?
Okay, so let's say 2 to 5 kilowatts for the first level. Then you are having up to about 11 kilowatts, right? Then you have 22 kilowatt above that actually goes into, and that's where the third level we call a DC charging, a direct current charging, right? And that's where some levels, that's what they call the fast charger, right? But what you have, the level 2, you could also buy it and fix it in your house. It would just mean that you need to do a whole wiring thing that actually, so you don't want to use your normal 1.5 cables or things, right? You have to get the wiring right. And that's when you buy, most of them are between $1,000 to let me see, $1,500 to get that installed in your house, right? That's a level 2 charger. And once that is installed in your house, you're able to charge a bit more faster than your average 2 to 5 kilowatt that you have that has been charging, right? But the level 3 is where you're doing a fast charger, and that is where you have you most likely will have in a public place because it will be faster.
So the key to making this work is if we had more, of course, electricity available, but also had more charging stations in public places. So using Accra Kumasi example, I leave Accra, I get in Sam or Lindado, there's a charging station there. Probably one at Nkoko. If I'm going to Tamale, one at Kintampo, so that even if my 500 kilometers gets exhausted, there will be a fast charging station where I'll spend how many minutes on average?
It depends on the battery capacity, but you can do about 80% charge in less than 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yes.
So, and you're saying that the key is get private sector. So if some companies can bring in the car, some companies can focus on supplying the batteries if they have to be changed. Some companies can focus on the charging stations, which is what you mean by the circularity.
Yes, that's well. So one company can decide to do it all, but it could be nice if you have a whole. It's an EV sector that we are creating here. The sector, as you said, in terms of the battery, because after 10 years or 12, most of these batteries will need to be changed, right? And then that also becomes a conversation. Then you have the charging infrastructure people and the business around it. You have those that will want to use it for ride hailing and be able to, and as you're seeing most ride hailing happen, around the world, when you go to Dubai, you go to London, you're having most EVs, so when you're even calling a ride, you're calling a green ride, right? So either you're calling one of those, right? So there's a circular model that is running around this, such that the private sector, when they go into this, can create that conversation for us mainly. I would say so.
We're talking to Doris Edemabevivi, who's the coordinator of Ghana's Drive Electric Initiative. She works with the Energy Commission, which is the agency that sort of is the policy wing of the ministry, and they have been pushing this seriously since 2019. We're talking about her enthusiasm about the energy transition. Let me end on two notes. What's the most important thing that needs to happen in Ghana today for the vision you and your colleagues at the ministry and then at the commission have for our EV to happen? What's the most important thing that needs to happen?
One, I would say we need the vehicles, we need charging, right? These are the two, right? And the vehicles, we may need to get a deeper penetration of the vehicles. Now that will have to be through incentives, and then the charging infrastructure through maybe an incentivized market to be able to go. But I would say that the Ministry of Transport have been taking up their realm, gone ahead to do the EV policy document, has shown us phases to which they want to be able to take this conversation, right? Now to 2026, we have the first phase, which is deepening the conversations. Then up to 2035, you want to have 35% penetration of electric vehicles. To get there is two things. We are either incentivizing a market that brings EVs, or we are incentivizing a market, incentivizing a market that can produce within. Because here we are talking about localization of these resources, localization of technology. We are talking about producing in-house. We are talking about industry and then a whole industry that needs to boom around it. So the incentives that we have currently goes to speak to that, because incentives is the one we have is encouraging manufacturing and assembling of EVs. So the 2 and 3 wheelers that you hear about Ghana assembling, right? It's now getting to the point where when you bring in parts into the country, you get an exemption at the port. It's the incentive that you are getting, because most of them, when they have to now come and pay the port duties, next side customs duty becomes, so that is being waived. That has been waived by policy, right? And then you also have the next waiver being for public transportation. You know, chunk of our transportation here is the public side. If you get, we are the Urban Mobility Forum, it was clear that chunk of our transportation is in. So these two have been targeted. Now with these two, I'm hoping that in the next 3 to 5 years, we are going to have a significant rise in the 2-3-wheeler market that is manufactured in the country. But we're also going to see a lot of electric buses, right, that are going to be transporting in terms of that and be taking a lot more electricity and reducing the emissions per person, which is also a conversation you want to talk about in that context. So that is for the vehicle. Then the charging infrastructure framework, I think, is going to happen that we are going to have a lot more private sector. As I say, it's a public-private partnership, but it's purely going to be led by the private sector. They are the ones that are getting into it now because they are seeing the business of it. Now, to do that, government needs to be able to put its leg down, and that's why at the Energy Commission, I have led the conversations on standards. So now we have standards for electric vehicle charging. And so that you don't just bring anything around. You have to make sure you meet the Ghanaian standards for it. Then you have the regulations for charging, which we just finished, the draft regulation. So that regulation is sort of catering for the safety, right? So we are making sure that the people that are coming to install chargers in the country, okay, this is a public charger, this is not a public charger, this is what you need to meet to do, your wiring needs to be done right. We don't want to hear of a charging station burning and then the next thing is that all the conversation goes to burn because people start getting scared, like how we have the LPG conversations. People are scared of burns and they will never use LPG. So that is the conversation. So these two happening, it's all about the vehicle and the charging.
Wonderful.
So the framework around the two is going to be quite what would deepen it, and that those have started already. So I'm hoping that in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be quite an interesting market to see, even if we're not in it.
Thank you very much. We've been speaking to, I guess it's fair to call her the face of the EV drive in Ghana, the coordinator of Ghana's Drive Electric initiative, Doris Edengmabevivi, quite passionate about that sector and really, really insightful thoughts around how the energy transition must happen and the circularity of the e-mobility space. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
That's all we have time for this edition of the Citi Business Edition. Thanks for listening. We'll be with you next time. Bye-bye.
On my real side, I'm gonna get me some love, some life.
The city's biggest conversation.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Saba, blue cylinder, clean and safe. Hey, this one there give and take. Your friend who could exchange. Puma Saba, blue cylinder, clean and safe. Hey, take empty from your food.
Visit any Puma Gas exchange point near you with your empty cylinder for a safe and already filled one. Puma Gas, a good exchange.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Welcome, it's Friday, October 4. Time now for the very latest in the world of sports. My name is Gabiof and we are on the wings of Shell Lashelle Zonda GHN, Polytown, Ghana. It's our very first story in Black Stars head coach Otuado will name his final squad for the doubleheader against Sudan later today in the AFCON qualifiers. And that naming will be done in the presence of the media this afternoon at 1 p.m. at the GFA conference room. Ghana will take on Sudan and next week Friday at the Accra Sports Stadium before the return leg in Libya in 4 days' time. The Black Stars have a single point from a possible 6 after losing to Angola and drawing against Niger in the last 2 matches. The Black Stars will hold 4 days of training at the Accra Sports Stadium, which recently received a late approval from CAF to host the match on Friday, October 11. The players are expected to arrive in Ghana after their club commitment this weekend. Well, away from the Black Stars, and we are into the 5th game week of the Ghana Premier League season with 9 matches set to take place across the country this weekend. The weekend begins with a big clash between Hearts of Oak and the FC at the University of Ghana Stadium later tomorrow, and that game will kick off at 6 p.m. Media One Sporting Club return to the TNA Stadium to battle Heart of Lions on Saturday, and that game will also kick off at 6 p.m. Kotoko host Accra Lions at the Linkley Sports Stadium in Obuasi, while Kerala United welcome champions Samatex 1996 to the Aliu Muhammad Sports Stadium in Tamale. While in Swacheman FC will take on Legon Citizen in Swatre. Gold Stars fresh from their stalemate against Hearts of Lions host Bichim United at the Dance Park in Bibiani. Brecum Chelsea will stay at home for the second successive time as they welcome Young Apostles to the Golden City Park, and Dreams FC are still in search of their first win of the campaign host Nations FC at the Tuba AstroTurf. The 2 Premier League new boys clash at the Ni Ejay Kraku II Sports Complex when Vision FC host Basake Holy Stars to wrap up match day 5 matches in the domestic flight. We hear from Vision's head coach Nana Kwikwajiman.
I mean, it's a home game, so we expect to go all out. We expect to pick up 3 points, of course, and we also want to entertain our fans. I think it's about high time we give the Ewo fans something to celebrate about on our home grounds. We've played 2 home games and we've gotten a draw in both. So it's about time that we pick up 3 points to make the Ewo fans happy in Tema Newtown.
All right, so that's Nanaku Kwajiman. He's the head coach for Vision Football Club. Now let's do some athletics. And yesterday, the Security Service Sports Association, that's SESA, was relaunched at the University of Ghana Sports Directorate Conference Room. Now, the SESA Games had been halted for over 10 years due to reasons beyond the organizers' control. And this year's SESA Athletics Open Championship will take place from November 2nd to 3rd at the Legon Sports Stadium. Here's the University of Ghana Sports Directorate's Director, Dr. Austin Lugetera, speaking about the SESA Games.
So, in sports, University of Ghana sees itself as a platform to help any sports activity, and we are glad to be partner to reviving SESA Games, especially using athletics as a base to add any other activity. The quest to develop sports or develop athletics doesn't lie on one person, and as a stakeholder, University of Ghana with its enormous facility is availing itself to help activate the SESA Games.
All right, so that's Dr. Austin Lugetara speaking about the upcoming SESA Games set to take place at the University of Ghana Stadium. Away from athletics, let's get to the Premier League now. All right, an early kickoff start off tomorrow at the Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace take on Liverpool at 11:30 a.m. Arsenal take on Southampton. Brentford play Wolves. Leicester City up against Bournemouth at the King Power Stadium. Manchester City will play Fulham at the Etihad Stadium. West Ham are up against Ipswich. Everton take on Newcastle United at the Goodison Park. That's Saturday's fixtures. Well, for Sunday, Aston Villa, they're up against Manchester United. And that game is at the Villa Park at 1 p.m. Chelsea take on Nottingham Forest. Brighton will play Tottenham Hotspur at 3:30 p.m. at the Amex Stadium. And for United, they were in action last night in the Europa League. That game ended 3-0, despite Bruno Fernandes being sent off for the second game running. We hear from Manchester United's Harry Maguire speaking on backing Harry Ten Hag to turn the 14th of the club around.
Yeah, definitely. I think, to be honest, I've played for this club now for 6 years, so I know how it works. And when you go through a bad spell, players come under pressure, but also the manager does. And he's experienced enough. He's been in the game long enough. He's been at this club long enough that I'm sure he's learned how to deal with it. And it's part and parcel of playing for this club or managing.
All right, so that's United's Harry Maguire speaking. They're wrapping up with the Conference League, and Chelsea justified their tag as favourites to win the competition as they ease to a 4-2 win over Belgian side Ghent at Stamford Bridge. That's your sport. For more, you can head to citysportsonline. That's coming on X at City Sports JJ. Kickoff was probably brought to you by Shell Lacheho, Zonda GH, and Politan Ghana, Papa Nini. My name is Gabi. I'll be back later at 5 p.m. with Sports Flash. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
Hey, well, yo, I did tire for Abu Chef. See, everything I do, Abu won't do some. Last year, I bought a cattle farm in Yanton. I see he go buy a farm next to mine. I marry Fauzia. No, he marries Fauzia's sister. I buy my motorbike. I see, no, he go buy motorbike too.
Hey, but you don't see, since you buy your bike, he has bought 4 motorbikes, which have all broken down. He don't maintain bikes at all.
His problem be say he dey put wrong lubricant for his bike inside. The correct motorbike oil where if you put inside be Shell Advanced Lubricant. Shell Advanced Lubricant be the only motorbike oil where they make them for motorbike to protect engine, clutch and brake. Where no. Wait me wallahi, I no go tell him. Shell. Hey, well, but wait, where you dey go?
If you no go tell Abu, me I dey go tell him say make you.
Yeah, man. So me I roll. You see me I sing. No, I record. Rise up, people. And I love this one. Sky, on the 11th of October this year, the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, in collaboration with the Conference of Major Superiors of Religious Ghana, they are embarking on environmental prayer walk against Galamsey.
Yeah.
They say no more destruction of the motherland.
Yes, just like Adam is dealing with it in the background.
Yeah, man. No more destruction of the motherland. Yes. The citizens say be swift.
Yes,
act swiftly.
Exactly.
And deal with the matter.
Yes.
So yesterday we know that contrary to how Godfred wished, that the organized labor do not honor the request of the president at all for a meeting, organized labor met the president. And the outcome, we are finding out that the president has appealed to organized labor to give him a bit more time, a little bit more time beyond the October 10 deadline they have given. We'll try and touch base with organized labor again and find out the solidarity we gave them yesterday. You know? The prayer we said for them yesterday. You know? What is the outcome of the meeting? Are they still in one mind with us, or they are considering other options? Yeah. In the meantime,
what is rolling in the background is coming in from Adam.
Yeah.
Go get them.
Yes.
Something just out of the bakery.
Yeah, man.
You know,
fresh from the oven.
Yes, we are serving it for you this morning.
Hot.
Yes.
It be so.
Motherland is the title of this one in the background.
It's called Motherland.
Yeah.
I love how boko it is.
Oh yeah,
but it's loaded.
Yeah, but the song doesn't have to be all over the place.
Yeah,
it's well put together. It's very ear friendly. It's great, but it speaks to you. And the best messages sometimes are couched in rhythm and in song.
Yes.
So that as you sing leisurely, the message is reinforced.
No more gala in
and
the
I'm
land.
very happy to see creatives getting involved in these things. They have platforms that are bigger than radio stations and TV stations. They command the ears of millions. So I'm always happy when creatives do this. A few months ago, Stonebwoy dropped his, and I'm happy that Edem has joined the fight. So Edem, congrats to you. This is great. It will push the moment. It will add a new level to the advocacy we are doing. So we are doing advocacy on air. Some people are on the streets marching. Some people are putting out their message in song. We appreciate every single part of what we are doing because this is our country. A friend of mine told me something. He says, he lives outside. He says, Nathan, no matter how settled I am here, this is not my country.
Thank you.
He says, I may decide to live here for the rest of my life. I may have kids here, but this is not my country.
It is not.
So this place is where God, when God, in his wisdom, when he wrote the story of the world, he decided that he would put 33 million people in this demarcated space called Ghana. And he's giving us so many things to live, make our lives easier. One of which is water. But some people have decided that no, they don't like God's gift, so they will destroy it. So we must all speak up. So Adam, we appreciate the fact that being a creative is tough.
Yes.
Making music, you can't force it. So for you to sit down and let the situation inspire you and put this piece together, we really appreciate it.
Guys, let the music flow. Let it
play
all
it
flow.
all the time.
Yes. And I've seen an artist actually who went to, I think it's the Pra River, sat under one of the bridges, fed the Galamsey water and used it to paint what he was seeing. All these are creative and innovative ways of putting out there the urgency of the moment and how serious a situation it is we have, and how as citizens we can't wait any further for government to take swift action. We'll get into this one. We are still heavy on the Galamsey agenda. It must stop. While we are at it, Zonda Ghana Limited is excited. They brought us kickoff together with Polytang. And Zonda Ghana says they are your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantui, bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, TX trucks, oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. At Zonda Ghana Limited, we don't only create opportunities, We provide top-notch after-sales services for all your heavy and light-duty trucks as well as machinery. So visit us today at any of our 7 branches around the country. Our head office is located off the Tema Aflao Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave in Tema. Number to call is 0501772222. Zonda built in Ghana, building Ghana. Let's talk about Polytank. While we are saving the few drops of water we have, the best storage option you have is Polytank. They've been in the system for more than 30 years. They've served several generations, and this is the tank we know. It's the first, the best, and certainly the original. So choose Polytank. Polytank near Papanuni. Be mindful that Polytank does not request for Momo payment online. Tell you what, at any point during the demonstration, during the advocacy, when you are losing energy, you're running out on energy, Lucozid is what you should look out for. Energy giving, great tasting Lucozid. It has a new look, so look out for it. Wherever you are, look out for Lucozid and restore your energy.
Now you work hard, you want to retire, you want to live a very decent life. Old Mutual is making all of that possible. They want you to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual retirement salary plan today and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement every month. The best part is you get to also enjoy a salary increase, and they had one in 23-24, which was 16%. Call Old Mutual today on 050-453-4333 or Brapang Ahuton Kwa. Old Mutual do great things every day. Now, the Lancaster University Ghana people are telling all of us that we need to speak to them because they have up to 50% in terms of scholarships, and you can get a British degree at a fraction of the cost. And you get to be taught by the finest faculty trained to UK standards. Call them on 020-960-7008 or visit lancaster.edu.gh or send an email, admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa. And it's running free airtime at Zenith Bank. Pay your school fees at any Zenith Bank branch and get branded or the Zenith. Okay, so pay your school fees at any Zenith Bank branch, Zenith branded collection center on school premises, or through the Zenith Merchant Pay using *966# and get free airtime. For a list of schools, visit zenithbank.com.gh. T's and C's apply. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Nice one.
Now get 10% off food, drinks, beauty and cosmetics, home essentials, electrical appliances, mobile phones and accessories, clothing, footwear, made in Ghana goods, so much more at the Momo Cashless Market. It's happening at the Good Park. It's a Kwashi interchange from the 2nd to the 6th of October. There will be artist performances, DJs on rotation, all kinds of amazing things. So from the 2nd to the 6th of October, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m, just Momo everywhere you go. It's the Momo Cashless Market happening at the Good Park near the Tetekwashi interchange.
The number to join the conversation at any point is 0549986996, 0549986996. For about a month, organized labor made their demands clear and made their intentions clear also to the government that look, by the end of September, if you do not announce a state of emergency, declare a moratorium and take a couple of actions that will help restore our environment and protect our water bodies, we are going to take action. Now that time has elapsed. The government, did not fully heed their cause and set up a committee, and organized labor believes that is not enough, and so they have declared that on the 10th of October they have served notice that they are embarking on a nationwide indefinite strike. Then the president requested for a meeting with organized labor. What is the outcome of that closed door meeting with organized labor? We understand the president is requesting for more time. technically, the president has less than 4 months, isn't it?
October.
We're in
right?
October,
So-
November, December.
Well, until he
January.
hands over, Richard. So technically,
January.
until the president hands over on the 7th of
7th of
January
January.
next year, he's still
Yeah.
in charge.
Yeah, he's still
Even
is.
an
Yeah.
hour to
Even an artist,
He's still
in charge,
president, yeah.
So he's president in October.
So how much more time can we
November,
give
the
him
whole
out of what is
December.
left of his tenure?
His tenure expires just immediately after midnight of January
7.
2025.
So as the president is asking for more time, how much more time does
We
he
don't
need?
know.
And
I mean,
what will be left of his tenure to do
look,
anything
there is- look,
and leave a lasting legacy
I
in
am
this Galamsey
rejecting
fight?
it. There is caboodle rejectamenta of that application from the president.
What is that?
With the greatest respect.
Caboodle
he does not
rejectamenta.
Rejectamenta. You know.
This one from Greek or
No,
is
no,
from
this one
Oxford?
by Yagbo, you know.
Oh my God.
We are completely rejecting it.
Thank you.
It is not on any firm grounds. He has not shown that he merits it. He has not shown that he has exhibited seriousness in the fight against illegal mining.
Yep.
His first efforts were great, although some criticism will come with that. But the point is, since 2020, the president has not been serious about fighting illegal mining. So he cannot tell organized labor that they should, give him more time so that he would assess the situation. There's nothing to assess.
It's like you're writing an exam, your time is up, and you're asking for extra sheets,
That's right.
more paper.
Look, organized labor, it was good. It was respectful that they went there to listen to him. But the appeal for more time must be completely and totally rejected with the fortitude that we can summon. With every available force that we can summon, let's reject the president's application for more time. Because the people who are apparently dying as a result of the illegal activities of this Galamsey, they don't have time. The people whose kidneys are going bad as a result, they don't have time.
And there's a chief who is battling for his life now.
Exactly. The
Rejecting
babies who are suffering deformities as a result of the illegalities happening in the water bodies we are complaining about, the forest reserves, they don't have time.
They don't.
The environment that is suffering as a result, the environment doesn't have time. The fisher folk who cannot go into, proper fishing, because of what is happening to the water bodies, they don't have time. We are destroying what used to be, water bodies that were full of fish. People could do fishing and then bring it to Accra and sell it to us. Now, when you are buying fish, you are suspicious of where it's coming from.
It's crazy.
You are buying kontomire, which yes. Remember the
vegetables.
president calling on all of us to eat in kontomire during the COVID. Kontomire during the COVID crisis.
Kontomire.
Oh, okay. I'm not a native speaker. Forgive me. He was calling us. Now, when you want to buy that, you are suspicious. You are better off growing it in your own home.
But even
you want to buy mankani.
But even that,
the water you use to
growing it in your own home, the water that you would use on that plant or vegetable, where is it coming from?
The chemicals
that's another question.
It's from Ghana
water for so long.
You're suspicious of it because it is tainted.
What is going on here?
So the president cannot, in his right conscience, ask organized labor for more time. It does not send the right message of presidential responsibility. It is absolute dereliction of duty. In fact, to even ask for extra minutes is a sin against the total conscience of the people of Ghana, the constitution of the republic, and his own presidential authority.
But Sky, how did we move from I'm a man in great hurry, which was a justification for the size of his government, and the great ambition I have means that I need a huge size and I'm in a great hurry, and all that to I'm putting my presidency on the line, and now to look, I'm asking for more time. And this more time, if you add it to his demeanor at the 28th GJ Awards night, if you give me more time to his demeanor in relations to Albert Jumfor during the night he asked for the president to take swift action, you get the sense that this is a cocktail of insouciance and nonchalance.
To a large extent. A president must be alive to his responsibilities to the state, to the citizens and to the international community that he lives in. On all of these fronts, it is clear to me that on the matter of illegal mining, the president has failed his responsibilities in this area. Because you go out there, COP20 what, COP20 what, COP20 what, you are signing all kinds of things, committing to how things should be done in a standardized way globally to protect the environment. But you back home, you are allowing the level of destruction that is poisoning your own children. Now, you cannot say that you want more time to deal with that problem. Go to Chebi, the president's own hometown. Some of the photographs coming in from that community, that beautiful community. I mean, those days, if you went to that community, it was a sight to behold. But we are told by the videos and the photographs that that community is under siege from illegal miners.
Sky, we have...
Now, if you are from that community, and you watch where you went to as a child to do many things,
it's
where you were a member of parliament for, you can't recognize that space now.
It's heartbreaking indeed.
People are destroying it, and you're asking for more time. With the greatest respect, we reject the application. We are rejecting it in limine.
We'll jump onto the phone lines very quickly. The Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, in collaboration with the Conference of Major Superiors of Religious Ghana, will be embarking on environmental prayer walk against Galamsey. Ken Ashigbe is also the man hugely involved in the media coalition against Galamsey. He joins us on the phone lines and we will pick his thoughts very briefly. Good morning, Uncle Ken. So we are hearing the outcome of Organized Labor's meeting with the presidency. Your comments?
Caleb, I'm not too sure whether the presidency have now sent their formal position, but I caught a bit of what it's not my learned friend, I'm not learned yet, so the learned friend was talking about, and the man was issued. I don't know whether have they issued that what the presidency are able to do on the demands that have been made by Organized Labor and then the media coalition and the other 50 groups.
Indeed, we'll need to speak to Organized Labor this morning to find out what exactly that was. Yeah, because it was a closed door meeting.
Yeah, but definitely what is going to happen is that I know, because the Ghana coalition against Galamsey has Labor as an integral part of it. So I know that once Labor gets the response, that document will be subject to Organized Labor's meeting and discussions. And I know the position of Labor at this stage is to say that, in as much as they would look at that document, the ask that they have, the fact that we are a desperate people who are being poisoned, we are people who are being killed, we are people who are losing our livelihood. All those fisher folks who are on those rivers have lost their livelihood. Now, even artisanal fishers who go to sea, the shallow part of the sea that they could fish have also completely been lost. You have a lot of people who are losing their livelihood so far as their cocoa farms and all of that is concerned. You don't go negotiating when you are being killed. Beyond life, what is there to negotiate about? So it is important that, whatever proposals that the government would bring, they need to recognize the fact that as we speak, life, there's no negotiation when it comes to your life.
But then,
as we speak, do you know that Ghana water, the fact that the water is clear, it does not mean it's clean. The Ghana water, we cannot be sure, and we should be asking Ghana water to tell us that what is the level of heavy metals in all the water treatment plants. Those questions we are not even asking them. And I can tell you, Caleb, one of the things that we as Media Coalition, the Ghana Coalition, we're going to be doing is to start that education of all of us and showing the linkages that are beginning to show. This week, there were two cops, one of them in BPNE, one of them in KNUST. One of them in Kumasi. The one in Kumasi was a 26 weeks pregnant woman. And the deformation of the fetus and herself was something that you could not think about. The woman in BBNE Hospital, the level of heavy metals that was found when the postmortem was done, it's something that is mind-boggling. So the linkages are very clear. The distraction that it is doing to us as a people are very, very clear. To the extent that Ghana Water will tell us that turbidity has now gone to 9,000 NTUs, and they want us to celebrate that. The plant in Himan takes it's supposed to take turbidity of 500. Ghana Water has pushed it to 2,000, we are told. And you have 9,000 in October, and somebody wants to celebrate that? It cannot be. So sometimes, and I can understand, the angst of Sky and all of us as media people. Sometimes it's as if people don't see it. And then you hear people tell you about the time and politics and all of that. Please, we're serving notices to all the political parties. We're not going to allow any political party to benefit or profit from this fight that we're going to take. So as we push the president to take the decisions, we would ask the political, especially the NPP and the NDC, to sign on to whatever actions that we are pushing for and tell us that on the 7th of January, if any of them come into power, they would make sure that that is going to continue. So we're not going to have the situation where one of them will go and stand in their pit and say, when we come, we'll let you go. That is not going to happen this time.
That's fair. Now, the reaction we get from the presidency, from the reports of our presidential correspondent who was at the meeting, is that in the face of the urgency of the picture you have painted so eloquently to us, and faced with the demands that organized labor is making of the government, the president is asking for more time. So that's actually an accurate report we are getting from the presidency, that when the organized labor, after giving a month's ultimatum and now has declared October 10, they are going to effectively embark on a nationwide indefinite strike, when the president appealed to meet with them, it was yet another appeal for more time. That's what I need your comments on.
Caleb, are you saying that if it was you, your brother that had left KNUST, has his thesis to go and defend, and has fallen into the pit, you would say that we should give you more time? The woman in Konongo who died, her only crime was the fact that she was born in Ghana, she was in Konongo, and she was responding to nature's call. Would you be asking for more time? Would you be asking for more time for the baby that has been born with 6 limbs? Would you be asking for more time for the people who are being poisoned, people who are getting, very bad diseases? That some 2 young men in Bekwai currently, based on the mercury inhalation that they have had, even putting food in their mouth, it's become a problem. If any of us, any of the politicians, if the president and the presidency, it was our children that was being subjected to that. The fact that on a consistent basis, we are being poisoned with heavy metals, would we be asking for more time to do what? What we are asking is that these are illegalities. The water bodies, the buffers of the water bodies, they are illegal already. Cutting, economic trees are crimes already. Going into the forest reserve and, the source of our water and cutting that, and they are all grave offenses already. So you thought, the interesting thing, we've had some of the ministers, and I can tell you, the Eastern Regional Minister, I was on a program with him, he said that a lot of the people who are on our water bodies are foreigners. We've even had an MP who is supposed to be a doctor. In the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, we have even petitioned the Dental Council, the Medical and Dental Council, against it. A doctor who should know better. Tell us that our foreigners who've been imported into it. So do you know what that is? It is an attack. So what we're saying is that they brought mercenaries and they're attacking us from within. So if terrorists were attacking us and we're asking government to deal with it, would they be telling us that we should hold on? When COVID came and COVID was how many people died out of COVID? Did we say we should wait? Didn't we take an urgent action? Caleb, as a scientist and as a social scientist, let me prefer my hypothesis. The reason why they are asking us to wait is because it's not just because of political power. It's because people are benefiting out of this. So because of that, they want us to give them more time to continue to rape us. We cannot wait to save ourselves. This is genocide. This is ecocide. So there cannot be a call for wait. What we need to do is that these are the actions that we are taking. And then, like the president did during COVID, he will be telling us on a weekly basis what we are doing. So then all of us, you see, organized labor, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, we are not just interested in stopping the country. We are not just, that's not what our interest is. Our interest is that we are desperate people who are dying, who are being killed. So what we are saying is that stop it. And all of that, we all acknowledge that it's going to be a process. And we need to take the definite steps that announces to these criminals who are doing the things that they are doing, including Akunta mining, Heritage Imperial, some of these large-scale miners who themselves have been pointed out as being engaged in the criminality, saying that we're taking actions against them. That's what we want to hear. Right. And then we see a plan that all of us can coalesce around.
Now, I understand the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, in collaboration with the Conference of Major Superiors of Religious Ghana, will be embarking on environmental prayer walk against Galamsey. Tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, so you see, the thing about it is that where we've gotten to, as citizens, we need to be citizens and we need to take action. But we also recognize the fact that there's a God factor in there. His Holiness Pope Francis issued an encyclical called Laudato Si, which talks about the environment and the need to protect the environment. The Catholic Bishops' Conference have issued over 9 communiques about this particular issue, the recent one that they did. Then the Conference of Major Superiors have also done that. So as a church, we realize the fact that there's something we need to do. So, and in October, for any Catholic, we know is a Marian Devotion Month. So what we are doing is that we are going to be calling on the omnipotent, whose footstool is being destroyed, in prayer. But then also as citizens, we are going to embark on so we are going to protest and we're going to petition. So as we pray along from the Holy Spirit Cathedral, through the major streets, to Christ the King Church, where we would have His Grace the Archbishop of Accra being the main celebrant of the Mass, we would be carrying placards that we would show our revulsion against what is happening and be calling on His Excellency the President to act. Then when we get to Christ the King, we would have the leaders of the church and all bodies who would want to join us go and present a petition to the president. And I'm sure copies of the petition will be provided to the other arms of government, namely the parliament and then also the judiciary, the chief justice, asking that some action has to be taken against the Galamsey. And so this is basically a prayer. It is a protest. It is a petition. That's what we are doing. And so we are treating it as a special event. So we are engaging the police so that we can get all the necessary permits, and we would be doing this in a prayerful way and asking God to do what we as human beings cannot do, but also doing the things that we as human beings should do. So we are inviting everybody. This is not just Catholics who, we are not always saying only Catholics should come. We're saying everybody who is minded to join us in prayer. The only thing to note is that the mode is such that it's a dual. It is both prayer and protest together. So if you want to join us, then you need to be mindful that you need to go after that particular protocol and be with us all the way till that, and so that we all can present it. Hopefully, once Accra starts, on the 11th, we are also going to get the other dioceses also continue this, so that it would be a national movement to be able to send a clear message that this is what it is that we need to do to get the executive to act. And then also for those who are involved in this evil thing, which are sins against God as well, to have a change of heart, and realize that what they're doing would not save us.
I love it. Prayer, protest, petition, 3 Ps, all still on the big G. That is the Galamsey. So, following from that meeting with the president yesterday, what are your expectations of the posturing of organized labor?
Well, it's not just expectations, so it's knowledge. Because as I say to you, one of the blocks of the Ghana coalition against Galamsey is Labour. And so we know what it is that they are doing. And so the posturing of Labour is the fact that nothing has changed. As we speak, UTAG is still engaged in their voting on their campuses, rallying for the 10th event. But then there's an openness to say once government puts the document together, it becomes a public document. Labour was subjected to the scrutiny that they did, that took them into the meeting that they did. And then we will take an action that, is this thing going to save us from the death that we are in? So that is the posture of Labour, as I can tell from the engagements that we've been having with them. And so far as Labour is concerned, and so far as the Ghana coalition against Galamsey is concerned, we are counting down. So today is day 4. Towards the shutdown of this country. And so, as the Catholic Church has responded, I know that the Presbyterian Church is asking its congregations to start wearing red. So it's also something that we should be doing. As the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey, we're also thinking of starting a red band on cars and in offices towards, to let government know that as a country we are all galvanized towards this. So these are thoughts that we are still doing. And so we would urge everybody, so Labour is still resolute so far as, the feedback we have gotten is concerned. And, as media, what we will do is to provide, the window into the thoughts of Ghanaians. And so every day that you post it on your programs and you do this is to let His Excellency the President and all the politicians know that this is our, we tell them, we are desperate people. So it's not something that we are going to allow anybody to toy with.
Well noted. Thank you for your spirited activism and advocacy. It's a good one. Now, we have been hearing from a former director of the Ghana School of Law as well, Kweku Ansah. No, by the way, that was Ken Ashigbe with the Media Coalition Against Galamsey. Sky, very refreshing voice as always in this protest and more.
It's a clear voice in this space.
Yeah.
And I endorse, the position that he wants us to take as a collective society against the irresponsibility going on. Because look, like I said, we don't have time. If you have a loved one who is in hospital being treated, and some of these things can be traced to the irresponsibility happening because people just want to steal what collectively belongs to us. You will not be saying we should give more time.
Yeah.
More time for what? You've had 8 years to deal with this matter decisively and defeat it entirely. Because what the people are doing, pure criminality. The law says don't engage in mining when you do not have the license to do so. If you have a certain license, confine yourself to the scope of the authority granted you by the license. People are breaching all of that. The resources that belong to us collectively, they are stealing it. On top of that, they are destroying our water bodies and our environment.
Yeah.
The president who spent his youthful years, as a lawyer dealing with human rights issues, should not be seen to be allowing this kind of thing to continue.
We've been standing in solidarity with organized labor through it all, and the former director of the Ghana Law School, Kweku Ansah, has a message for them following their meeting with President Akufo-Addo yesterday. He wants them to completely disregard or ignore the president's appeal to give them more time and call off their planned nationwide strike. We have that voice. Listen to it. We'll be back shortly.
Organized labor should not heed the president's advice for the simple reason that the president has not lived up to expectation as regards the promises that he has made the nation. He, on assumption of office, put his presidency on the line and said, should he fail the Galamsey fight, he will pay for it. We have asked him to apologize. He hasn't apologized. He has only 8 weeks. And by now, he should have allowed his wife, Dr. Bawumia, to assume the reins of government. 6 months into his estate, he shouldn't be asking organized labor to do anything. He has not been sincere. He will not be sincere. He will not keep any promise that he will give within the next 8 weeks. So as far as I'm concerned, organized labor should proceed, with their timetable. And I would advise organized labor to do the following. One, ask the president to step aside and hand over to his vice immediately. They should give the president up to Tuesday to hand over to his vice. There's no useful addition or useful transformation agenda that the president has, for us during the forthcoming 8 weeks or so. Two, the president must ensure that a caretaker government is established. By now, he and his ministers should have prepared their handing over notes. So let him resign and block with his cabinet and allow the vice president to appoint interim ministers to steer the affairs of state up to election day. As far as the Galamsey is concerned, my take may be in this, that all the political parties should realize that the fight against Galamsey is a shared responsibility.
I took the decision that there would be a betrayal of the trust that the Ghanaian people put in me on the 7th of January this year. And as a result, we established this committee within the government to design a policy for us, not just to stop it, to reclaim the land, to let our rivers work again, but also to see how we can figure a way for all these able-bodied young men who are involved in this activity to find an alternative livelihood. So it's a package. It's a package that we have designed to try and bring this menace to a conclusion. I've said it in the cabinet, and perhaps it's the first time I'll be saying it in public. I am prepared to put my presidency on the line on this matter. I've heard it being said that I should be careful. Many of these people voted for me, and if I continue this exercise, perhaps they will not vote for me again. If by the grace of God I'm in a position, my party allows me to go again, and I have the health and everything to go again, that I'll not get it again. And I'll say to myself, well, this is a choice that all of us have to make as human beings. You do what you think is right, or do you do what you think will allow you to get along? I think that you do what you think is right. That is what you're required to do.
Well, that was the voice of the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, in 2017. Now, organized labor and the good people of Ghana indeed are calling on him to do the right thing, and he's asking for more time.
There's no more time we are giving to the president. As for that one, we are rejecting it in its entirety. Look, the president, when he was being sworn into office, the first time and the second time, took two different oaths. The first one, I'll read that with your permission, is the oath of allegiance.
Right.
It says, I, and then he inserted his name, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Republic of Ghana as by law established, and that I would uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God. That was the first one, right? You listen to the words.
Yes.
To protect,
defend
the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. In the Constitution, he is the person entrusted
to protect.
Exactly. To protect us, the people of Ghana, and then the resources they are stealing.
So if anyone says there's been dereliction of duty on his part,
there is presidential dereliction of duty. As for that one, it is clear on the facts.
Protected us.
He has not. He has failed to do it. And let me read for you the second one. This is the presidential oath. It says, I, again, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, having been elected to the high office of President of the Republic of Ghana, do, in the name of the Almighty God, swear that I will be, continuous, faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana, that I will at all times, not at some times, at all times.
He's asking
at
for more.
all times. So that is what he swore that.
Yeah.
I didn't swear that for him.
He's asking for more time.
At all times, not sometimes. At all times, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And that I dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana, and to do right to all manner of persons. The well-being of the people of Ghana.
Yeah.
And to do right to all manner of persons.
And the environment is at the heart of the well-being of the people.
Exactly. And then he goes on to say that I further solemnly swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the Republic of Ghana and suffer the penalty for it. You have been given executive authority to confront a problem like this. The people of Ghana, as I said earlier, those who are suffering, they don't have time. Go to Kolebu and see the conditions under which people are having to endure kidney-related problems. In some cases, they cannot even afford treatment. The likes of First Sky Group, they are pumping money into Kolebu to deal with that problem. For a long time, we had a crisis at Kolebu because for some reason the people could not afford. They had raised the cost of dialysis, and then we needed to shut the place down. People were struggling. Now we had to beg the National Health Insurance Authority to see if some money could be allocated to deal with that problem. And we are told by literature that part of the problem we are seeing is the environmental destruction in the communities that are seeing this Galamsey thing. So if you have committed through your own, words, words imposed on you by the Constitution, which you read with your own eye, your koro eyes, nobody forced you to read it. You swear to these words openly to all of us, committing to ensure that the right thing is done all the time. And you have sat down for people to do so much damage to the community. Babies suffering as a result. People dying as a result. Now you cannot, with the greatest respect, be asking her for more time.
Nathan, the president is asking for more time.
That's a 0/10 request. We won't accept it. More time for what? In 2017, you played that voice clip. That was the voice of the president, not mine, not Sky's, not yours, not Abekus. It's the president's own voice. He said, and he told the people who were clapping, and for those who, if you remember clapping for the president that day in that room, if you can take your claps back, do it. Because he's disappointed you and he's disappointed all of us. He said he would put his presidency on the line, and he had been saying it in cabinet, so which means in private. He had been telling them, and his own words. I'm saying this for the very first time in public. So 2017 to 2024, if my math is correct, is 7 years. 7 years to address a problem. 7 years to address something that you are very well aware of. 7 years to deal with this. Because then we had started talking about it. The water bodies were bad, but clearly 7 years is enough time for them to get worse. So the president had 7 years to deal with this problem. Money was spent, and good money was spent on drones, training river wardens, getting speed boats, doing the Galam Stop app, and all these other things. There were other initiatives that I know of that the Ministry of Lands had a look at. For example, I know somebody who came up with an innovation to track excavators, right? So when excavators are imported, they enter details into a software and a database, and then that software can track where every excavator is, and it's mapped to a site or a mining site. So when that excavation or when that excavator leaves a mining site, the software is flagged, or the software flags it, and then the authorities will check and say, what are you doing outside your concession? You were supposed to be here. What are you doing elsewhere? So a lot of effort, money, time has been spent already in dealing with Galamsey. So as to how the president in October 2024 thinks he needs more time, it really beats my imagination. It really baffles me. So what has been happening in the last 7 years? In the last 7 years, how many people have been arrested? The AG keeps throwing numbers around. This, that. We've only picked up one high-profile person in the person of Aisha Huang. She was let go. She came back. She's now facing the law. But I don't think it's only Aisha Huang who's taking part in this. So if the president asks for more time, I cannot understand what he means by more time to do what? If really there was a concerted effort to deal with this problem would not be there. But it is there because we have sat down and we have looked on, unconcerned. And in the last few weeks, we've now been giving a proper rationalization as to why we've sat down unconcerned. This is the reason why the government has sat down unconcerned. Because an MP says that it means votes. So clearly, the entire calculation or the entire concept of illegal mining at Galamsey is equal to votes and numbers. So that is what is of importance to the people in government, not us. Not the fact that when you open your tap looks like you've been brewing Milo from your tank. Right? When you open it looks like Ghana water. Instead of pumping water, they pump Milo. But they don't pump Milo. It's water they pump to all of us. When you put water down, smell it. It's horrible. Look at the color. And we think it's not a problem. What does the president mean by he needs more time to do what? Has he been reading the newspapers? Does he get briefings from the medical people? And I keep going back to the medical people thing because you see, look at the disruption caused in the world of renal patients when the renal unit shut down. Even the people who had money to pay for dialysis couldn't get dialysis to take care of them because the renal units were shut down. How much more the poor person who's suffering from a kidney condition? So if we think that Galamsey is all about votes or water, I'm sorry to tell anybody who underestimates the problem that it's bigger than that. It's a food problem. It's a security problem. It's an education problem because the free SHS the president so dearly loves, when you listen to the experts in the space, they say that now attendances are beginning to drop because the young boys are seeing that if I go into the pits, if I go into the river to go and hustle around and shake and water and wash and get pellets, that's 1,000 cedis a day. Why should I sit in a classroom if I can make 5,000 cedis every 5 days? What's the point?
So for you, the more time...
the point is that the fact that this issue started off as a mining issue and it's metamorphosed into things that are affecting all of us in one way or the other, that should have gingered the president to deal with this heavily. For a president who seems to like his international appeal, if none of this is worrying him in here, he should think about the fact that Ghana's cocoa could get affected in a few years. What happens when our cocoa gets flagged and it's no more safe for consumption in Europe? It means we can't export cocoa anymore, and that will be it.
Powerful.
So, Mr. President, this call for time there, no way.
Empha.
No way.
Okay.
You are still president. You still have the machinery of the state in your hands and under your control. Deploy them. Send soldiers, send policemen, send security. Do all you can. Because you told us you valued lives when we had COVID. But Galamsey is affecting our lives. Our lives have not changed. The lives that you claim you valued in 2020 are the same lives in 2024.
Right.
So please, no time. Get to work now.
Powerful one. So I've heard a lot. Your messages are in. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back,
I want to make a quick point.
Yes,
you see,
Sky.
the people who are operating as ministers around the president, look, unless you agree with the fact that Galamsey should continue, I mean, you should be responsible enough to even resign from office. if you can't tell the president in the face that what he's doing is wrong, don't we have any, people with the requisite size of kahunas?
But Sky, you can say all you can.
You disagree with this, and in principle,
the people have told you that there are mates. There are people who are doing.
I don't want to believe
that the driver is the one who takes the ultimate decision.
Every single soul in this administration supports illegal mining.
Sky, if you say it and the president say he won't take, what
then
can you
resign.
Do? Okay. So all those who are still in office, they are all complicit.
You are busy sending messages to people. You Citi FM, making the government unpopular. You have a responsibility, for God's sake,
so
to run this country to the glory of God. Okay. I have read to you the oath sworn to by the President of the Republic.
Right. So here,
please, if you cannot do your job, leave office.
Right. My understanding of the president's call for more time is more crime to go on, because the experts have told us that Galamsey has metamorphosized from an environmental thing to a criminal thing. You're having more illegal small arms in the system. So, Mr. President, if you're asking for more time to deal with illegal small-scale mining, you are asking for more crime to fester. We have been told that more lands for cocoa and farmlands are being destroyed for Galamsey activities. Mr. President, if you're asking for more time, you're asking for more hunger to continue. We have seen the debilitating impact of the chemicals used for small-scale mining and what is having on unborn children. We are seeing the deformities. They have been confirmed. There has been a strong correlation between the water bodies, the chemicals used in illegal mining, and what we are seeing of the children who are being born. Mr. President, if you're asking for more time, you are asking for more children to be born with deformities. And to this, we say no.
And let me just say, the last time the president said he should give him more time was when people were clamoring for the removal of, the minister for finance.
Minister, yes.
How long did it take him to eventually act? No, we wouldn't agree.
We are not agreeing.
We will not agree.
That one is for sure.
He's the president. He cannot even.
He is still
say
president.
That he's lame duck president. He's acting like one.
He's drawing a salary.
Yes.
He's enjoying all the perks of the position. Perks will always come with responsibilities. Like you said, he took the oath. We didn't take it. No. In Resolute social contract, we agree that we'll hand you power. Power. We said one of us will lead. So when we hand you the power, you do things that will benefit us because you came from us. You are representing us. Like the oath said, you swore an oath to protect us. Now the us there it refers to all of us and everything that concerns us. So our lives, our money, our health, our rivers, all the things that concern us should concern the president.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we have some important announcement for you, our listeners.
Providence
Equally important.
Very important.
Very cool.
Providence Insurance's reliable WhatsApp assistant is here. She's called Obaya. She'll help you buy, renew, and file claims for your vehicle anytime, anywhere. Babia. Save Obaya's number 0242 426 396. Send her a hi, follow the prompts, and she'll give you all-day assistance. So grab your phone, chat with Obaya. Babia. With Providence Insurance, man, you are covered. Now, parents, did you know that 75% of the fastest growing skills today require STEM skills? Prepare your kids for the future by helping them gain knowledge and expertise in computer programming, 3D design, cloud computing, and more. Nyansapor Institute just finished a 3-week incredible in-person STEM boot camp, and they are excited to announce their 8-week online STEM cohort starting from the 14th of October. If you are interested, call or send a message to 053-711-73344 to enroll today. Limited slots available. Registration ends on the 11th of October. Now, Nyansapor Institute, where coding, engineering, and design meet opportunity. And if you're always on the move, you're always moving around, but you can't afford to miss the Premier League, just download the Showmax app onto your phone. Pay 55 cedis, sign up to the Premier League mobile plan, create your account, and you are good to go. So wherever you are, church, funeral, on the move, wherever, you get to enjoy the Premier League. Showmax is your stadium on the move.
They're taking from the masses, stealing.
Now get yourself latex foam. High quality mattress and furniture crafted with your ultimate relaxation in mind. You would wake up refreshed, rejuvenated, ready to take on the world. It's a promise Latest Foam offers you. Invest in your well-being, choose Latest Foam, otherwise you do yourself. We are your partner for life. Visit us today and sleep better tonight. Number to call is 0302-231-155. Visit us online, www.latestfoamghana.com. And if you're a parent, student, professional looking for education in Canada, wondering what your visa application success rate will be like, wondering what program of study to take to earn a good job or land a good job in Canada, Best Education Services proudly brings you the exclusive Study in Canada Fair happening on Monday 14th and Tuesday 15th October in Accra at the Accra City Hotel. For students, parents, professionals in Kumasi, this will be happening at the Lancaster Hotel on Wednesday 16th October 2024. 17 top Canadian institutions with programs in bachelor's degrees to masters will be there. Come there, whatever the level you are, from WASI to masters, pass by. It's an event that is free, but you must register, so call or WhatsApp 025-624-506. Best Education Study in Canada Fair 2024. It's your ticket to success. We have a lot of your messages here. We'll be reading them to you shortly. We'll take just a very quick break. When we are back, your messages and a big conversation with an African legend, the Princess of Africa. My goodness. Stay with us. We have more for you shortly.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Since inception, almost 100% of Ashesi University students have found jobs, started businesses, or gone on to graduate school within 6 months of graduation. From Accra to Nairobi, London to New York, Ashesi graduates are noticed and are leading successful careers. If you dream of a rewarding life and career, an Ashesi education prepares you just for that. Learn more about applying to Ashesi at ashesi.edu.gh. Remember, admission is ongoing.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It'd be very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement, unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
What happens when ancient days meet modernity? What happens when a goddess wakes up in an era of digital chaos? Witness the epic battle between the past and the present. Catch the intrigue and suspense in Amwanime's era, a brand new epic telenovela showing Mondays to Fridays on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and Go TV channel 102. Available on DSTV Access and Go TV Plus. Dial *759# to stay connected.
Keeping your smile healthy and strong is important to Colgate. That's why this month, Colgate is giving you an opportunity to get a free dental screening. We want to help take care of your oral health beyond just brushing your teeth daily with our products, because we believe our smile is our strength. Our dentists are here for your smile. Please note that the dentists will screen you and provide advice around how to manage your oral health. There will be no procedures or treatments done. Visit Colgate Ghana on our Facebook page to find out more. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you hoping to start university this October? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently officially open for our 2024 intakes. Apply now for our foundation and undergraduate programs. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
You can engage in all the propaganda you want, but if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
Has the exchange rate not exposed Dr. Baumia and the NPP? At the end of December 2016, the cedi to dollar exchange rate was 4 Ghana cedis to $1. Today, it's about 16 Ghana cedis to $1. This is more than 4 times the amount of cedis one needed to buy $1 in 2016. Today, as a result of the free fall of the cedi, many businesses have lost significant amount of their working capital, with many collapsing in the process. Did they not say Yeti Sikaso?
Yeti Sikaso. Omenyo hiamai. Enam amemua enkoyeti.
Ghanaians are worse off as prices continue to soar on a daily basis. Putting food on the table has become a daily struggle. The hardship is real. It's time for change. Vote for change. Vote for John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Wemazamin, wopum komboti. Wemazamin, wopum komboti. Wemazamin.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
A special beer.
Oh, that's the original voice, people. Come on now.
It's African beer.
Oh, wow. Oh my God, come on, one more time, everybody. One more time, one more time, one final call watching it.
Yeah. We are on Citi 97.3.
Oh yes. And the voice you are hearing is the unbeatable, the one and only, the African princess.
Thank you.
Yvonne Chaka.
Yes.
Yvonne Chaka Chaka. My goodness. What a delight to have you in Ghana.
We are before greatness.
You understand?
Yes.
Greatness is in the building. Oh my word.
Can I tell you my new name?
Tell me your new name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you've chosen the name of divinity. Asasiya is the god of the land. When you come to Ghana, that is Asasiya. And that means you were born on the best day of the week.
Absolutely, on
And
the Thursday.
I am here. So as you are the princess of Africa, it turns out I'll be the prince of Africa.
I'm also Yao.
Oh, you are. Oh, this guy. This one. We have to test it in the database.
No, this one is confirmed.
So we
are from the same place.
Yvonne Chaka Chaka, we are excited to welcome you to Ghana.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to have you in our studio.
It is just, it's so nice to see young people alive and having so much fun.
Yeah.
And when I was sitting outside, I was listening to you talking to Mr. President.
Yeah.
Yeah, about illegal mining.
Yes, please.
What do you want me to tell him to do?
So we need him to ban illegal small-scale mining so that all mining activities in water bodies and forest reserves are stopped so that the water regenerates itself. We reforest our depleted forest, and then when we
have clean water,
we can have clean water to run through our taps, because illegal mining has been a big thing in our country for a while.
Well, illegal mining is a burden everywhere,
Yeah.
even in South Africa.
The scale has shot up through the roofs, and it's affecting the water we get in our homes. Ghana Water Company is not able to treat enough water because water we consume in our homes, the water that is coming from the river bodies are deeply polluted. And I know you have used your music to do a lot of advocacy and activism in the past. So it's good to have you in this time.
Well, thank you very much. We will be having a meeting with the Global Funds.
Right.
Not the Global Fund, no, with the Global Citizens.
Right.
In Ivory Coast next week. And President Kufuor will be here, will be there. So I will definitely convey the message to him, because we cannot afford to see young people suffering. Africa is a country with more young people. And the problem is that, I'm going to ask you a question. Why is there illegal mining? Is it because the work is not there? And people resort to doing this illegal mining because they want to fend for themselves and feed their children. I'm not condoning it, because it makes a mockery out of our resources and everything. What can be done for people not to do this illegal mining?
There are a lot of solutions that have been proffered from the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, which is like the highest body of all scientists and academia in Ghana. TUC, Trades Union Congress, religious bodies. There's been a dossier of solutions for the president to act on. So we are not lacking solutions. What we are lacking is action.
Mr. President, young people are saying solutions are there. All we need now, we need to start seeing him walking the talk. We need him to practice what he's preaching, so that these minerals can benefit everybody and everybody can get good water. Mr. President, when we say people shall govern, the very same people are the ones who come with solutions. So this is how we say people shall govern. So we need you to listen to them and do what is right for the country and for the people of Ghana as well.
Wonderful. Powerful one.
Thank you.
Thank you for that very profound message. It's good to have you. It's a shame that we are talking about these things when we have you in our studio. We should be talking about great things. By the way, we have our own variations of your song.
I want to listen to it.
Yeah, I didn't know there was supposed to be the click sound in the nkomo. So like
oh wow. What's the inspiration behind that song? Because that song is years old.
Every Ghanaian child has known this song.
Every Ghanaian child my age or
grown on
younger
us.
watch that video, or older watch that music video on TV. And I'd like to know, how did you come up with that song? What was the story of the song?
You make me feel like a dinosaur.
But you don't even look your age. That's the other thing.
I'm 59.
Oh my word.
And I'm a proud grandmother as well. As you can see, my son is standing right behind me.
Is he the one who worked on your last album?
Yes.
I see.
You're very smart.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
it is.
exciting.
But the song Umkomboti was actually written for me by Chico.
Okay.
And it was the last song on the okay, they're not dinosaurs here. We had cassette.
On the cassette.
You're telling me your age now. It was the last song on the cassette. You know, cassette, you had to have
side A and side B.
Absolutely. How do you know? Side A and side B. So it was the last song which we just wanted to throw to fill in, to fill up the
album.
The album, exactly. You had to have 5 this side, 5 that side. And Chico said, here is the song. And we thought, okay, Umkomboti is actually an African beer.
Oh.
It's the beer that you brew And when there's funerals, when there's parties, when there's big functions in the homestead,
Right.
people drink that kind of beer called umkomboti. I don't know, what do you call it in Ghana?
Maybe Aliha.
It's like sorghum beer.
Sorghum beer.
Yeah, but it's not meant to make you drunk. No, it's to say we drink from one calabash, you drink from another. It means we are together.
Right.
Ubuntu, we are one.
Right.
So we drink from one calabash, and it says, I feel your pain if you have pain. If there's a wedding, we drink umkomboti. It says, I cry with you.
I share in your joy
I
now.
share your joy. I share your sadness. So that's when people drink umkomboti. So every function must have umkomboti. If there's no umkomboti, amaku akekho. Amaku akekho. If there's no umkomboti,
Then there's something wrong.
yes, exactly.
I hope you came with some, you know, so that we can, you know. But you grew up in Soweto.
Yes, I did.
Tell me about
Southwest
it.
Town.
And you tell a very profound story of your dad and your growing up, your two other sisters.
Soweto is not what people think it is. Soweto is a beautiful place.
Right.
People think Soweto is a shanty town. And no.
Because those are the depictions we
Yeah.
saw.
Exactly.
We're told that
Very long
Soweto
time.
is this rundown place.
I mean, we even have white people now leaving town to go and live in Soweto. Yes. So Soweto, it's just sad that white people moved our fathers and our mothers from where they were staying to this township called Soweto, you know. But I mean, for me, growing up in Soweto was a good thing because I knew that I would never go to bed without eating. Because my mother would send me next door and say, go and ask for bread. Would send me to the other house, go and ask for sugar.
Right.
Go to the other house, go and ask for milli meals. So you
Right.
would never go to bed without eating. We looked for each other. We looked out for each other.
Right.
We cared for one another. We were one big happy family and a very close-knit family.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a communal upbringing and an
absolutely.
exciting thing But I read also that you're the first black girl to be on television in South Africa. How was that? Tell me about it.
Well, I think it was just, you know, God does things his way. Obviously, growing up in Soweto, we didn't even have TV at home. So in South Africa, television started in 1976. Okay? And it was just for white people.
Right.
There was just one station, TV One, just for white people. So when black TV was introduced, they only had cartoons, and it was between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock at night, and it was just cartoons. There was nothing. And when a white man called Bernard Joffe decided he needed content,
Right.
Obviously we did not know what content was and all those things. And I think this guy must be given his flowers when he's still alive, because I think he came with reality TV when it didn't even exist.
Right.
So he came to Soweto looking for children who could sing, who could read, who could act, who could dance, who could play instruments. So he came to Soweto and looking for those kids. Obviously, living in Soweto, very few of us had our own instruments.
Right.
So those who had, they probably came from rich families.
There were not so many instrumentalists.
Absolutely.
But singers, there was.
Singers,
Yvonne
dancers, we
Chaka.
dance. You know,
Right.
as a black child, you dance, you sing, you do all sorts of things. And he called the program, I'm not sure which was the first one, whether it was Sugar Shack or Abangobi. Abangobi means the conquerors. And he put that together. You know, so others were reading, you know, they would just stand there and read, and others would dance, and others would sing. And he put that as a program. I think it was about 26 episodes or something like that. And he went to the SABC and he put that. This was one of the first programs for black television. And I think he just liked me because then I was the first one on the first episode.
Right.
So that's how it came about.
And I'm sure you stood out also.
And I got paid lots of money.
Yeah.
Which my
500
mother
rands?
did not even. 500 rands is a lot of money.
Wow. And your mom was earning 50 rands at the time?
Absolutely. 40
Wow.
rands
40
at the time.
rands at the
Yeah.
time. Great. So was that the breakthrough that eventually got you into doing singing?
No, I must have been 14 then.
Okay.
So it didn't even matter really because we didn't even have TV at home.
Right.
For me, it was not me being on television, it was me earning the money to help my mother because my father had died.
Right.
And my mother worked as a domestic worker, working for a white woman. So it was quite difficult, with my two sisters.
Yeah.
So that money was to augment mom's salary.
Right.
So it had nothing to do with me being Yvonne Chaka Chaka. No, nobody even knew.
Right.
Really, it's when I start talking about people saying, "Oh, you were that girl."
You tell the story of how when you did your first song, you were in a taxi driver was playing your song, and you told him, "Look, that's me," and he said, "Come on, get out of here. That cannot be you."
Well, that's even very nice, really, when you say that. But yeah, and I was feeling a bit terrible because obviously I didn't have a car, but he was pumping the song.
Right.
I'm in love, love, love with the DJ.
Yeah.
And I looked at the driver and I'm like, it's me singing here. And he looked at me, he's like,
oh no!
What do you want in my text? I mean, I was like feeling so bad.
He was sitting next to greatness, but he was doubting
he
it.
had no idea.
Oh
He
my
had no
word.
idea. He didn't even think that you would be in the taxi.
Yeah.
But that's how we grew up. That's where we come from. And I'm just grateful to God, grateful to the fans, grateful to the love that I've been given by the people, not only of South Africa, but people of the world.
Yeah.
How did you first feel when you discovered that your songs were being played outside South Africa?
It's history that I cannot understand or even fathom. I had no idea because we are in South Africa. It's during apartheid, but Miriam Makeba's music is known in the rest of Africa. Yvonne Chaka Chaka, Hugh Masekela, Brenda Fassie, Lucky Dube. And I don't know how did it happen because those were the times of, we didn't have social media then.
Right.
I still really yet to understand how did it happen. I have no idea. It was just osmosis.
Wow. I take you back a bit, right? You speak very fondly of your dad, and I'm sure he shaped your upbringing and even your music career. Tell me about that, man.
Well, I was daddy's girl. I come from a family of 3 girls, and I'm the last one at home.
Wow.
So I was daddy's girl. My dad used to gamble.
Okay.
Yes, my father was a gambler. I don't know if you guys got dice,
Yes.
something called dice in Ghana.
Yes.
You go
6 million.
No, that's small loot, but I get you. Like what the Americans call crap.
And
Click
you go
on
crap,
the street.
pop, yeah.
Pop, yeah.
You!
I know, right? No, he's the guy. He's the guy. He's the guy.
So dad used to really gamble. So he'll take me with. He'll actually piggyback me and go with me to go and do all these things. And and we did all of that. But he died when I was 11. So I was quite young. So the few years that I spent with my dad really were good years, I could say. My dad will never beat us up if we done anything wrong. He will then tell my mother, hit your children, when you've done something wrong. So our mother was very strict.
Right.
But I give everything to my mother because as a single parent, bringing up 3 girls and herself, you can imagine any Tom, Dick and Harry could have come to the house and do whatever. But my mother guarded us, protected us from any evil, and as young girls, we were not happy. We thought she was unfair, she was strict, she was not a nice woman.
She was difficult.
That's the word, difficult. We used to call her that person, with my 2 sisters. But I look back today as a 59-year-old and I say, I have my mother to thank because she could have said, you go girls, go and find Kwame, go and find Kweku, go and find James out there and Kofi and make means end.
Yeah.
But she didn't. She protected us and guarded us. And I say I'm a woman that I am today because our mother did not have to prostitute us.
Amazing. And all these experiences came together to inform the kind of songs you made, correct? Let's talk about your songs. Let's reflect on them. They've been global.
Growing up in Soweto, your mother works for white people in town. You live in a township. You have to commute. And at a certain time, black people were not allowed to be in the vicinity where white people were. That's how we lived. I mean, I'm driving around coming here and I'm like, people live wherever. We were driving at some space there. I think it's a market, and people are just standing there in a market. And
you didn't see all that?
We didn't have all of that in South Africa.
Right.
No. There were places where the townships for black people and places for white people.
Right.
And at a certain time, black people have to leave white people's
residence
and go back to the townships. So obviously my mother lived there and worked there. And as a young girl, you ask yourself, why are there so many disparities?
Right.
Why are we living there and white people are living there?
Right.
And when I was given a platform to start singing, because songs like "Thank You, Mr. DJ, for playing my songs," they were written for me by Artie van Wyk. I was found by Phil Hollis, and songs like "I'm Burning Up," "Thank You, Mr. DJ." And when I was then given a chance to start writing songs for myself, I wanted to air my views about everything that I saw.
So I Cry for Freedom?
Exactly. Songs like "I Cry for Freedom," "Africa is Crying for the Children." There's another song that says "Nabahamba bazobuya." It means those who left South Africa to go and fight for us outside South Africa will come back home, when the storm is gone. Songs like... who's that motherland? Who's that man calling me stranger in my land, my mama land? Because I felt I am South African, but it looks like I don't belong. Because as a black person, you just became a non-entity. We didn't vote. We didn't even know who our ministers were. We were just people living there. But so that kind of music inspired me to say, let me air my views. What is the best way to disseminate information? It's by a song, or it's about, you can do it through dance, you can do it through a sculpture, you can do it through storytelling and things like that.
So basically the art is a channel through which you can send your message.
Without any doubt.
There must have been repercussions also, because I realized that "I Cry for Freedom," you had to change some of the lyrics at some point. Tell me about how
Well,
did
there's
that happen?
many songs that we had to change.
Wow.
"I Cry for Freedom," obviously we had to then find ways, because then you took the music to the SABC and you had to explain what is the song all about. There would be a lady literally sitting there looking for the lyrics of the song, and you need to explain what is the song all about before it got airplay. So we had to change the song. It would be, it's a woman crying for freedom from her husband, abuse. It's a woman empowerment song. And obviously, why should there be freedom? I mean, anything that said freedom in South Africa, it was like, you're a rebel. Why do you even, there's a song that we dedicated to Winnie Mandela, the song was I'm Winnie Mandela, but we had to change the song to I'm winning, my dear love. So we had to change
look at
the
this.
music. Chico did a song the song was called "We Miss You Mandela, Where Are You?" But he had to change the song and say, "We miss you Manelo, where are you?"
Oh Lord.
So we had to be very smart to beat the system.
Right. That's an interesting one. So I have "A Cry for Freedom." I want to give listeners a taste of that, and I will continue this very insightful conversation with Yvonne Chaka Chaka. So this was "I Cry for Freedom."
I need my independence.
Yes, to do what I want.
I need you.
Right. I love it.
When did this song come out? When did you?
I think it was in 1988.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was on that album. I'm burning up. Well, thank you, Mr. DJ. One of those.
Right.
Can't remember.
Right.
It's 39 years later.
Yeah, when you listen to it.
So where's the DJ, by the way? He seems to have featured in your songs. I'm in love
He
with
did.
the DJ.
Danny Bridgens. He's a
DJ.
priest. He lives in England.
Oh,
no,
he's
he
a
lives
priest?
in America now.
He's a priest?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he had always been a very good guy. He just had a great voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we'll hear more of your music later this weekend, won't we? Tell me about it.
Well, tomorrow
Yes.
I am very grateful to the company, Global Media Alliance.
Right, Global Media Alliance.
I want to say to them, thank you for inviting me here to come and perform with George.
Yes, there is George Jara, there is Ochiame Kwame, there's Danny Best.
And Danny Best.
I like the way you say Ochiame Kwame. You try. No?
So for me, it's I am just so grateful to this company that wants to give its legends their flowers when they are alive. I can see I'm the only woman here. I want to know where are the other women, But for me, I want to say I'm grateful and thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to all the media partners. Thank you to the people who've bought the tickets. Those who haven't bought the tickets, please come because, yes, me too. Yes. I'm made in Ghana.
Hey,
I'm made in Ghana.
You can take me to London.
You can take me anywhere, but I'm made in Ghana.
You've not lost your zest for life. Right.
Well, I'm a mother of boys, so they keep me alive.
Right. Correct. So the African Legends Night is happening tomorrow.
On Saturday the 5th.
Yes, Saturday 5th of October.
So get yourself there.
This will be at the Grand Arena. The time is 6 p.m. Yvonne Chaka Chaka is headlining this very one. How does that make you feel? I mean, yeah, we're giving you your flowers while you're still here. 59, right?
59 and 39 years in the music
My
industry.
goodness, still going really strong.
Well, for me, I don't think I'm headlining the show.
Right.
We are performing with my brothers.
Ooh.
This is our gig. And, I'm one person who, when I get into the country, I want to feel like part of the community.
Right.
I don't want to say them and me.
Right.
No. We
So
are
this is
all
us.
in this together. It is us. So we'll be performing together with my brothers. And I'm just so grateful. I wish we had other people like Ife and Becca and the young people.
Right.
But we're here now and we're going to do this thing. We're going to entertain people. And I've got some presents for my brothers.
Oh,
wow. And
lovely.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to the chairman and the CEO
Right.
and Emma, who's done a good job, and Grant, who's been looking well after me here. Isn't she
Shout out to
beautiful?
Grant. Shout out to Grant.
Isn't she
Grant,
beautiful?
have you given her work plan?
Yeah,
look
please,
sharp,
let's
look
enjoy
sharp,
some nice
look sharp.
Ghanaian food, some fufu, some kenke.
Yeah.
So look out for what a work plan for 3 and things.
Yeah.
You with that and all you'll be fine.
Well, I'm sure I'll be fine because, after all that is done,
Yes.
I'm sure you can do that.
Yeah, but this is happening tomorrow at the Grand Arena. If you're single, single is 450 and a couple is 800 cedis. So grab your ticket. There are numbers to call 020-222-2095, 020-222-2095. Grab a ticket and go be part of this
Caleb, let me read this
legend.
message.
Yes,
Yvonne,
there's
this
a
message is
here.
a very special message. It says, Nathan and team, you've made my day. Please tell the legend Yvonne Chaka Chaka she was my favorite growing up. I remember having all her albums. In fact, I carried them everywhere. She's truly my hero. Tofik in Tema.
Amazing stuff.
I love that message. You look like my brother-in-law. Come on, please. Yeah?
Nathan, we need to investigate this. There's something going on.
We need to investigate
brother-in-law.
Let me ask you though, while you are here, we don't often get you, for the young up and coming who are looking up to legends like yourself, right? The times have changed significantly, but the challenges may remain the same or even tougher for young ones who have done this for a long time and not seen their big break. What will be your word to such persons?
You know, I want to say to a young Yvonne or a young Becca, or if you're there, never despair. We are all here for a reason. And there's only one Yvonne, and there's only one Brenda Fassi. But we can learn from that, from those people who came before us, those who laid the platform for us. I mean, there was one Mary Makeba. There's never going to be another one as well. There's one Kojo Antwe, you know. Kojo Antwi. So for me, to the young people, never despair. And things have changed now, really. And I think for the better, because there's social media, you can expose yourself. I mean, the question that you asked me, how did I feel when my music was played in Ghana, in Kenya? I don't know how did it happen. It was during apartheid, but it did happen. So today, there's collaborations. There are those young Nigerians, those young Ghanaians who can collaborate with South African music and things like that, put everything out on social media and expose yourselves. I mean, I see there's one of the Ghanaians who's got 1 million people following him. What's his name?
Kali J?
Is the one who did, he's a, no, one of the Ghanaian musician. No, he's not a musician, he's a blogger as well.
Really?
Yeah. So, and there's a young man who was in Ghana, who was in Botswana as well.
That's Wodemaya.
So for me, it says, African child, you are not alone. The world is your oyster. Go out there and do it. So we need to find very innovative ways of promoting our children or give them the platform. The only thing I am not in favor of is when these young girls have got male managers and they start asking for favors. Do not. And I say to them, they shouldn't be doing that. Let these girls fly. Give them their wings. Do not ask for favors, because sometimes you find these young people are unable to do what they want to do because a Mr. Somebody says, I'm going to make you a star. I will put you up there, but I need something from you. That shouldn't happen. That is the only challenge. But these young people have got talent and they have to be given a seat on the table to do anything they want to do.
Awesome.
Wow.
Fantastic one.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So I would not let you go without asking you. I mean, you're 59 until you told me. I would have thought you were probably 42 or 41. Or something. Is this a genetic lottery you've won? Is this something you do to keep in shape? Is this something we can learn from? Is this something you're eating in South Africa? We need to visit? What's going on here?
Well, I don't drink alcohol at all. I don't smoke. I try and limit what I eat. I am not a good eater, though. I eat all the bad things, but I really, really try. And just I don't go to gym, but
at all.
No.
Sure, try to stay active.
I'm just active when I'm on stage, but really, I really try to do my skipping rope at home. But I'm blessed with good genes. I want to say thank you to my mother. And thank you to my boys, because they really keep me young.
Having sons,
amazing.
There's one handsome one right here.
He's rapping Bafana.
We beat them every now and then.
Sorry, did you say Bafana? Yeah, Bafana. Oh, sorry about that. We'll take care of them. But you need to be at tomorrow's African Legends Night. Yvonne Chaka Chaka is rapping live and live in color with George Jara, with Ochame Kwame and Danny Best. If you want to buy online, the short code is *713 *33 *02 *713 *33 *20 and then you can buy your ticket and you're good to go. You'll be at the African Legends Night, so you can say I was there when Yvonne Chaka Chaka came to Ghana. You understand?
I just have two quick questions.
Yes.
First of all, which is your favorite song of all the beautiful music songs that you put up? Which of them is the most beautiful one for you personally? Your favorite?
What a difficult question. Remember, I am the one who makes these songs, so I do love them all. But my favorite song is Kana Uchema Dinonso Moya Wangu Guraziwa. It's a Shona song. It talks about land. So land is a very, very important thing in my life, because obviously black people still don't have land. Black people were moved away from their places, and when people are given land, they're able to fend for themselves and do things for themselves. So, and when men decide to go to war, who suffers? Mother and child. It's a Shona song.
Beautiful. And then very, very finally, you spoke about collaboration between African arts and all of that. A musician listening to me wants me to ask whether you are open to
collaborating with Ghanaians.
That's a good one.
Of course, I would do anything. I'm sure you don't. Can you go on YouTube and find the collaboration of Yvonne Chaka Chaka and Highly Spiritual?
Highly spiritual.
So I've done it. You did.
Come on.
Come on.
Okay. She just brought life to the studio, and there'll be more live tomorrow morning at the African Legends Night. It's happening at the Accra International Conference Center. She's the princess of Africa for a reason. She's gonna be there. It's a legacy night with the legend and more. Do all to pass by. It's happening at the Grand Arena. Thank you so much for doing us the honors. Thank you for passing through the studios.
For having me, I really appreciate you.
Thank you, wonderful having you.
Are we seeing the young people at the show tomorrow?
Yeah, there will
Are
be.
they invited?
I'm
talking about these young people.
Yes, we are coming.
We are coming. We will come and sing our version.
Oh yes.
When I call my backing singer on stage, eh?
Everybody,
I love that.
Thank you.
That's a great remix.
Thank you so much, Yvonne Chaka Chaka.
Thank you very much.
God bless you for all you do.
Listening to us in France, says that she met you in Abu Dhabi. It's such a wonderful soul you are. You inspire her children, and she's sending her love to you.
Thank you very much. She must be safe wherever she is.
Yes, and she's even sent photographs to show evidence of.
Of course, mommy, that's my little sister.
Oh,
wonderful. So thank you, Yvonne Chaka Chaka. We'll take a very quick break, and then we'll take selfies and we'll share with you online, so you see what you are missing.
Yes.
But if you want yours, you pass by the Grand Arena tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll be back to wrap up the show.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Stacy.
Teacher,
don't tell me that Yao is not in school today too.
Please, that's why I'm here. He was diagnosed with malaria.
Oh my, that boy is missing a lot in class. Don't you have treated mosquito nets? It is the most common and effective means to prevent malaria. I can't.
Madam, we now have the new treated net.
Really?
We all sleep under it.
The new nets. Speedy recovery to him.
Avoid malaria. Get insecticide-treated net and sleep under it every night and throughout the night. And remember, there's also the new insecticide-treated net. Highly resistant, strong, and is just as effective.
Let's come on board Good Life and protect against malaria. Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service and partners with support from the USAID.
Malaria away. Good life, live it well.
Hello, spare driver. Are you sending the sales?
Boss, medicana kopim.
Hey, what the car to me so?
Boss, you no renew the insurance.
Charlie, I didn't have time. I had to go to the farm.
You can insure on the farm.
And I had to go to the market too.
You could have insured in the market.
I had to cook supper for my wife.
Even in the kitchen, you can still insure.
But how?
by texting Obaya on 0242 426 396 to help insure with Provident Insurance on WhatsApp from anywhere. Annie, Bebia. With Obaya, now you can insure your car anywhere, anytime. On WhatsApp, text Obaya on 0242 426 396 today. With Provident, man,
you are covered.
Keeping your smile healthy and strong is important to Colgate. That's why this month, Colgate is giving you an opportunity to get a free dental screening. We want to help take care of your oral health beyond just brushing your teeth daily with our products, because we believe our smile is our strength. Our dentists are here for your smile. Please note that the dentists will screen you and provide advice around how to manage your oral health. There will be no procedures or treatments done. Visit Colgate Ghana on our Facebook page to find out more. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere for everyone.
Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the car prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
Star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
Hey, Amma, so with all the skill you have in dressmaking and soap making, wouldn't it be a good idea to run a full-time business?
Sure. In this economy with so many taxes, do you think this insensitive MPP government cares about your businesses? I better go. I don't want to be killed by taxes before my time. Why?
You see the thing where I'm at the top. Charlie, small bets we are chop. Like if I see the tax where government take put for the money top.
Kwame is right. I can't even send my mother money for her medical bills now. Because look, the e-levy alone no be easy.
Oh boy, buy some ride, make a take do Uber. Go see the tax way day for the pots there. It cost past the right safe. COVID levy all day inside.
Me, I'm not surprised that the liar who promised to move the nation from taxation to production has come due. Elections have consequences, so as for me, I've made up my mind to vote for GM and the NDC because I trust them to keep their promise to exempt small and micro businesses from VAT, grant 2-year tax holidays for new businesses like mine, scrap e-levy, COVID levy, betting levy, and emissions levy to ease hardship. In fact, I can go to the bank with JM's word because he is trustworthy.
Charlie Kojo, your mind for deal. It is time for change.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
What happens when ancient days meet modernity? What happens when a goddess wakes up in an era of digital chaos? Witness the epic battle between the past and the present. Catch the intrigue and suspense in Amwanime's era, a brand new epic telenovela showing Mondays to Fridays on Aquaba Magic, DSTV channel 150 and Go TV channel 102. Available on DSTV Access and Go TV Plus. Dial star 759 hash to stay connected.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
This one, to whom it may concern. Also,
you haven't mentioned any name.
To whom it may concern. What to be spell? Yeah, mention. Well, it's been a fun morning. Thank you for joining us. And Zoe, we had a selfie together with the legend.
Yes,
please tell the listeners.
Okay, so we'll post it and they'll see it.
Yes, we have made it in life. I'll send you this picture. This one, nobody will come after you.
What did you tell her?
I said that we get into trouble together. That you are my manager. But this picture, no trouble will come after. Good morning, Zoe.
Good morning, Caleb. This is the Election Bureau. Hello and welcome to City News at 10. Coming up, protest against illegal mining intensifies as Coalition of Concerned Citizens against Galamsey presents a petition to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources today. And Ghana Health Service urges calm amid suspected Mpox case. The details. The Coalition of Concerned Citizens against Galamsey is set to present a petition to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources today as part of its ongoing demonstration against illegal mining. This marks the second day of a 3-day protest that began yesterday under the slogans under the hashtag Free the Citizens and Say No to Galamsey. The protest aims to raise awareness about the detrimental effects of illegal mining and to urge for a more decisive action to combat the issue. Convener of the group, Brownson Adachi, has called on the public to join the protest to help protect Ghana's water bodies.
And then we will be petitioning the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources tomorrow. And on Saturday, we will be doing the same thing, but then the terminating point will have to be Independence Square. And then that night, there would be a vigil. And this Galamsey is not just an illegal mining, but it's a deliberate attempt to destroy our resources. That has to do with our water, our land, and our future. Just a select few. So we all need to come because the problem is not discriminating. The problem will not affect some people and leave others.
That was the convener of the Coalition of Concerned Citizens Against Galamsey, Brownson Adachi. Now, the organised labour is set to meet today to decide the fate of the indefinite strike planned for October 10. This comes after President Akufo-Addo appealed to labour groups to reconsider their decision following the government's failure to address the illegal mining crisis. During a meeting at the Jubilee House, the president requested for more time for his administration to meet their demands. We're still stay on this issue because the former director of the Ghana Law School, Kweku Ansansari, has urged organised labour to dismiss President Akufo-Addo's appeal to call off their planned nationwide strike against illegal mining. Mr. Ansansari criticised the president, accusing him of not fulfilling his pledge to put his presidency on the line in tackling the Galamsey crisis.
He, on assumption of office, put his presidency on the line and said, should he fail the Galamsey fight, he will pay for it. We have asked him to apologize. He hasn't apologized. He has only 8 weeks. And by now, he should have allowed his vice, Dr. Bawumia, to assume the reins of government. 6 months into his estate, he shouldn't be asking organized labor to do anything. He has not been sincere. He will not be sincere. He will not keep any promise that he will give within the next 8 weeks. So as far as I'm concerned, organized labor should proceed with their timetable.
Former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansansari. Finally, the Ghana Health Service is urging calm after announcing the suspected case of monkeypox in the country. The Ghana Health Service has activated its surveillance system to address any potential challenges. A 15-year-old boy was confirmed to have contracted the virus after visiting a health center with feverish symptoms. In an interview with City News, Director of Public Health, Dr. Frank Esiedu, reassured the public that there is no cause for alarm.
We are enhancing our surveillance systems across all the regions. We are also going to make sure that our contact tracing becomes more effective and efficient. For this particular case in question, we have identified 25 contacts which are being followed up. I think today is day 3 of it. We will follow them up to the end of the 21 days. So we are trying to make sure that we follow up all the contacts and make sure that if someone should become a case, we find more contacts and follow them up.
That was the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Frank Esiedu. That'll be all for City News at 10. Log on to citynewsroom.com for more news. My name is Zoe Abube-Eduardo. Have a good morning.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.
High
Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliance needs, such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know we have laser television, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphones, sound systems, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, just to mention a few. Hisense is the only electronic company in Ghana that gives you 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit any of our showrooms in Accra, also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuasi, Sunyani, Techiman, Tamale, Hohoi, Kofodia to purchase any Hisense product at the best price. Hisense means best quality, best durability, best for energy efficiency, best for affordability, best for style, and best for technology. You can always get in touch on 0302 55 0000 or go to www.hisense.com.gh. We are also available on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Hisense Ghana. Hisense, everyday prices for everyday people.
For over 60 years, Good Energy has served you top quality fuels. Goil brings you Super XP for a smooth ride. It is available in many Goil stations nationwide. Goil Super XP is fortified with special additives which help your engine perform better and use less fuel. Goil Super XP is quality fuel, the ideal choice for most vehicles. Energize your ride with Goil Super XP. Who feel ya? Huh? Who be feel? Good energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sister Stacy.
Teacher.
Don't tell me that Yao is not in school today too.
Please, that's why I'm here. He was diagnosed with malaria.
Oh my, that boy is missing a lot in class. Don't you have treated mosquito nets? It is the most common and effective means to prevent malaria. I can't...
Madam, we now have the new treated net.
Really?
We all sleep under it.
The new nets? Speedy recovery to him.
Avoid malaria. Get insecticide-treated net and sleep under it every night and throughout the night. And remember, there's also the new insecticide-treated net. Highly resistant, strong, and is just as effective.
Let's come on board Good Life and protect against malaria. Good Life, live it well. It's an everyday thing. This message is brought to you by the Ghana Health Service and partners with support from the USAID.
Malaria away. Good life, live it well.
It's the Hopsa 2004